You're listening to the Backroom Beer League podcast with your hosts, Jacob, Nigel, and Greg. Bringing you your fantasy sports content recorded from the back room. To stay up to date, follow us at BRBL Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and rate the podcast to show us your support. Now, here's Jacob, Nigel, and Greg to talk fantasy sports.
As you just heard, this is the Backroom Beer League. My name's Jacob.
My name's Nigel.
My name's Greg.
And we're here to talk about fantasy sports and whatever comes after. So a little bit about myself. I'm a Yankees fan. I'm a Capitals fan. And I'm a Bears fan. And sadly, I'm a Knicks fan. But as of the recording of this podcast, the Knicks just skunked the Cavaliers. 106-86. So I'm happy. Are
we really calling that a skunk?
Well,
absolute skunk.
It's a skunk for me
because the Cavs are that good.
It's a small victory in a season that isn't filled with many. I think we're at 12 wins right now.
All right. Speaking of seasons that aren't filled with much, a little bit about myself. I'm a Packers fan, and
well,
keep up with
we
the
know
news.
we know how that went.
Last
we know
night
how the
didn't
Packers.
happen.
Mostert.
Last night, that's not real. The game's tonight. But on other news, I'm a Devils fan, so that's like beating your head in with a tire iron. I'm also a Yankees fan, and I don't really watch a lot of basketball, but I like James Harden, so Grob's going to get real pissed at me here, but I'm a Rockets fan.
Yeah, no, fire up the bandwagon, boys.
Absolutely.
Hop on.
See, I'm not even a
Sell out.
All aboard. Well, can we just go back to the Packers for a second and I just like some analysis on the Packers from the Packer fan himself.
Thrashing.
Well,
What happened? What happened?
There's this guy that's supposed to be playing inside linebacker named Blake Martinez, and he decided that he was going to put cinder blocks on his feet, stand there, and stick his thumb up his butthole because he did a whole lot of nothing as Raheem Mostert ran all over him. Just absolutely filthy. I thought when Tevin Coleman went out, I was like, okay, maybe we have a shot. Forgetting that the Niners just clone running backs. They're doing like the opposite.
Mostert was their 4-string running back.
Yeah, that dude's been cut by 7 teams, and he just made the Packers look like a high school team. If Mike Pettin still has a job,
I was enjoying it.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed Mitch Trubisky.
Well, a lot of people enjoyed Mitch Trubisky.
Jim McMahon hangover with the second.
I mean, the Detroit Lions damn near enjoyed Mitch Trubisky, but we somehow pulled through.
Listen, Chase Daniel beat the Vikings. The world's fine.
Yeah, really.
Kirk Cousins made Saints fans cry again. Who dat? Who
Kyle
trash?
Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph. Did he push off? Did he not? Nah.
We need to get a bit more info on Greg here. State your affiliations, please.
What's up, everyone? My name's Greg. It's how I talk. All right, my favorite teams. I got NHL. I got the Pens, Crosby. Basketball, I got myself the Toronto Raptors, champs. Not going to do it again. Football, got the Broncos. We're on year 5 of the Peyton Manning hangover. It might be year 4, to be honest. I can't remember. They've all kind of gelled together.
Years become blurries when you're a Broncos fan.
Yeah, it just the season starts. You're going 7-9.
The gap between Elway and Peyton Manning is just one solid year for them.
Yeah, you start the year, you know you're going 7-9. Hey, 8-8 if you're lucky. Hey, if you go like 5-11, that's all right. What sports I forget?
Baseball.
Oh, baseball! Can't forget about the old pastime. I'm a Blue Jay.
The old pastime. America's favorite pastime.
Favorite pastime, and I'm a Blue Jays fan because Vladimir Guerrero is going to be the best player in the league.
Bo Bichette. I mean,
Bo Bichette. I understand. I understand where you guys are coming from, but watching Vladdy swing the bat.
Vladdy swings the bat with his ass. That thing's so big.
He has a big butt.
Promise you, I don't think of his ass.
Well, you should watch a lot more baseball, man, because when you see that chugging to first base, I'm telling you,
that man.
He needs a pinch runner every time he hits.
Absolutely.
He walks and he calls for a pinch runner halfway down the line.
Yeah, the man absolutely has a trunk.
He does.
So welcome, everyone.
All right, so
I'm gonna crack my
why
first.
don't we start with the Astros here? Is Greg makes a mess.
Yeah.
Why don't we start
Hey, I
with
didn't spill
the
anything, dog.
dumbasses in Houston? That you know. My name's AJ Hinch, and I'm gonna say that we didn't cheat, even though we got caught. And what do you guys think about the old Buzzergate?
Well, I have a lot to say on the Astros. I have a lot to say on baseball in general right now. I mean, do I think the Astros were fairly punished? Some ways, yes. Some ways, no. I think the Astros got off a little easy, if I'm being honest, because you punish an organization that was found to be cheating. You don't hand out punishments to the players that actually were taking part in the cheating, and you fine a $1 billion organization $5 million. What does that do? I mean, you get rid of Hinch, you get rid of Luno, but what's the fallout from that? Like,
Couple draft picks, but even in the MLB,
well, 2 years of draft picks, first, second round. Like, how valuable are draft picks when half the best players come from international signings?
well, that and with no salary cap, you don't have to draft guys and pay them nothing because as long as you have the money, it doesn't matter.
And at this point, and when you're talking about stripping draft picks, that's a punishment for a team that's going to be good. You're looking at a team of the Astros that are a threat to win the World Series every single year.
Like the Yankees used to do it. They don't do it now, but the Sox have done it. You just pay everybody boatloads of money.
Absolutely. That's why it's always like similar teams.
And
winning.
even with the AJ Hinch
how that
suspension, 1 year, what front office in the end wouldn't want to scapegoat their manager?
Yeah.
For 1 year, their manager and their general manager for a single year and a World Series ring. Well, 2 appearances in a ring. Who wouldn't do that?
Well, with the whole Alex Cora fallout that's come after the initial report, saying that Alex Cora could almost be the mastermind of this whole thing. Now the former manager, because he got fired, of the Red Sox, it seems like a light punishment. In retrospect, it seems like a light punishment, and I hope, for the sake of baseball, that the commissioner steps in before the season starts, which is in 66 days, as of recording this podcast, March 26th, opening day of baseball. I hope to God that the commissioner steps in and does something, because the players union in the MLB is believed to be the reason why players were not punished. They wanted to get a punishment out quick. They wanted to get something out fast, something that couldn't be blocked by such a union. But they got to do something. Altuve and Bregman just stared at the cameras and said, "Well, the report's been released." He just stood there and acted like nothing even happened.
Do you see what Altuve said? Everything's going to be fine. We're going to be back in the World Series. Like, if Buzzergate is true and these guys walk away without a suspension, like if these 2 players specifically, I don't know how many others, were found out to be wearing buzzers. Because I don't care what you say about Altuve's wife not liking his shirt being ripped off. That is not how you celebrate a walk-off home run in the 2018 ALCS. There's no way you just straight up walk out into the dugout and change shirts and tell your players not to rip your shirt off unless there's something under there. So I think at least 80% of me is damn sure that man had a buzzer on, and that man should be suspended.
You just seal your fate. You win. You win. You're so enthused about getting such a clutch home run, such a clutch piece of hitting in a game where it mattered the most. You're playing a great team. You're playing the Yankees. A little bit of Yankee pride
Homer.
there. No Homer take there or anything.
Call Marge.
But seriously, you're looking at that, and to be so distant from your team, to walk down the dugout stairs and run immediately after hitting such a clutch piece of hitting, like I said.
Oh yeah, there's a 100% chance that you want all the boys like that. That's a moment.
That's a moment that you need to share with your team.
Biggest hit he'll ever hit in his career.
You hit it off Chapman, who's one of the better closers, and
you just embarrassed Chapman. You just embarrassed Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah. Completely exposed him. Like Chapman literally looked at the home run.
Chapman just stared at the home plate and just.
It's one of these things that it's so obvious that it happened. Like, did you see the picture of Altuve with his jersey on? With
Yes.
obvious, like,
There's a bump.
There's a bump. In
That's
his
not a
jersey.
pimple.
That's
not.
Well, it's not like one of those bumps, like wrinkled jersey bumps. It was like way out.
No.
Like you don't have a camera
But
here,
he
but I'm
has
holding my
some
shirt like I saw
odd
an inch
muscle
and a half
mass.
out.
That's his body.
Yeah, and then
Like-
there was a piece of.
That thing falling off the bat.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was off the bat, but something fell
They
off.
claimed it was a sticker.
Was
on
it
the top of the
Gurriel
bat.
or I forget who it was.
I think it was.
I'm
but-
pretty sure it was Gurriel.
But something flew off immediately after a swing, and he goes and picks it up. He looks at it and he puts it in his back pocket. Is Buzzergate real? I think
I would
after
say
For the
after what
integrity of
happened,
baseball, I hope not.
after what happened, can anything really be discounted as false right now? Like, can you really say, "Oh, Buzzergate's 100% just a fan theory"?
I'm 80% sure it's real, which is saddening because for any sport, cheating sucks in any sport. But like even the pitchers, like I don't know, like at least a dozen pitchers plus, like the one from the not the Angels, the Dodgers. I can't think of his name. Even came out and said he would rather pitch against a guy hopped up on PEDs and like roids than a guy who knew it was coming. Because that guy on roids can hit.
Well,
the home run,
I think that's.
but
been,
it's easier to hit a home run when you know where the pitch is going to be.
That's almost been the opinion expressed by many players in the league that they would rather be a pitcher in the
Early
era of
2000s
steroids than the era of electronic cheating.
For steroids to be of use, you have to get a hold of a ball.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, there's no like, you use steroids to crack a single down the line. That's just not how it works. If you're a pitcher and you know for a fact that the batter is going to know what pitch you're throwing, that's the art of the game.
Yeah.
That's the studying. That's the game film. That's literally the hitting coach's job.
It
That's
literally
what the
is.
scouts,
Yeah.
that's their job. And to have that taken over by just mics and just all this, it's just one of these things that it's unfortunate. It ruins the integrity of the game, and no one likes to see it happen. And I'm sure that the Astros are just flat out.
Can we also talk about how
point.
classless Astro fans have been through all this? The amount of like things on social media where I'm like, oh, coming back with a chip on our shoulder. Like, you don't have a chip on your shoulder. You admittedly cheated for one World Series. Possibly, you could have almost had two. You almost cheated the Yankees out of you probably cheated the Yankees out of an appearance.
Yeah.
That's not a chip on your shoulder. That's not something to battle with. You should feel ashamed.
That's why I say the investigation needs to be reopened, or a new investigation needs to be started against the actual players who were involved in the cheating. And there needs to be something found. There needs to be something handed down where it's almost hard to say this, but you don't want Altuve and Bregman stepping in the box and getting tossed at every single game of this year. When they go to the Bronx, this year for the first time, they're going to get beamed. I know it right now.
100%.
And you're lucky that CC Sabathia retired
because
last
CC
year.
would do it. That
There'd be
man
a
gave
fight.
up.
CC,
Can we just talk about the fact that I love CC's old school baseball? I'm like horrified. Like, it's gonna be so hard to watch in a season without CC. But like, not this year, but last year when the guy gave up his bonus to get suspended to being a guy because that's old school
Rays,
baseball.
yeah.
Also, side note, MLB Power Ranking had the Rays at third. Excuse me.
Yeah, the power rankings are.
They might have a young core, but this is the Tampa Bay Rays who made a wild card. Yeah, they beat the Oakland Athletics, but the Oakland Athletics can't win in win or lose situations.
Now,
they're like 0-9.
That's like the Rays are at third on the power rankings according to MLB themselves. They have some good pieces.
I also
they have good pieces,
they have
but, like,
they also had the Dodgers at 2, and I think that's a bit of a stretch.
yes.
The Dodgers couldn't get any
Well,
new
they lost
pitchers,
Ryu.
and they lost
Yeah.
Ryu to your Jays.
I love it.
Like, they should have thought they were
Absolutely
getting Cole,
exciting.
and they lost Ryu, who's one of their better pitchers.
I think for the Dodgers, number 2 is a little high, and I honestly think 3 for the Rays is a little high for the sole fact that you know how the Red Sox, they teeter-totter every year.
Yeah.
They
Well,
could end
look
up.
at-
They could easily end up as a 2 seed in the
Well,
AL East,
They
and the
could.
Rays could end up at 3rd. And if this young core, the Blue Jays, can heat up, you're talking Rays maybe at 4.
Yeah.
In their own division,
Listen,
not the
if
MLB.
there's one thing we can all guarantee. The Baltimore Orioles
Will be last.
never get anything better. Man, do you remember that clip of that guy when the Yankees played the Orioles? Yankees hits it to the wall. The guy goes to throw it and like throws it right into the dirt and has to pick it back up again.
They wasted so much of like the prime careers of Manny Machado and Adam Jones. Are you kidding?
And
Matt-
now they
well, yeah, but
draft
look at
they
Manny.
draft a unique prospect in Adley Rutschman, a switch hitting catcher who can actually hit, and he's going to be due in 2021. They think.
Can we put out the fact
I
that
feel
Baltimore
bad for him.
Orioles are the Cincinnati Bengals of the NFL?
Absolutely.
Joe Burrow is going to be a
That's a good
stud, but what's he going to do? Like, the Bengals ownership is so cheap. Joe Burrow is about to get drafted and just have to, like, AJ Green's leaving.
Yes.
Yeah.
That man could have easily probably played the final 4 games this year.
well,
You know why he went IR?
100%.
He went
They
IR
wouldn't
because he
have
wants to
wanted
be
him,
healthy and out.
Yes.
Yeah, and they also wanted that draft pick. They didn't want AJ Green to play those last 4 games. They like to lose.
Yeah.
I was reading today that Matt LaFleur has a shot to pull in Wade Phillips. Why the Rams fired Wade Phillips? I have no idea. But if Wade Phillips can get in Green Bay and develop some of this young talent...
I've also heard that Wade Phillips had potentially going to the Cleveland Browns.
Well, there's been some, all around, not just in the NFL, but lately, there have been some questionable coaching decisions.
Nashville hires John Hines.
Some maybe not as questionable.
As a Devils fan, watching John Hines get fired was like... hired after the Devils were like, wow, you suck. Like, Nashville fires their coach after their defenseman's like a leading scorer. Let's fire Pete Laviolette and pick up the John Hines. When he left Devils...
Can we just talk about the absolute worst coaching decision in the NHL to date?
The Vegas
this
firing?
season? Gerard Gallant took the Las Vegas Golden
Islander.
Knights. Hey, St. John Sea Dogs, represent, buddy. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, but I want you to hear this. To hire Peter DeBoer...
I can't. Well, he's the interim, isn't he? I think he's the interim.
It doesn't
DeBoer,
even matter.
yeah, I know.
Just the sole fact
I
that
know.
you're letting Gallant go of a team that
let's look at
Seattle would be game for Gerard Gallant.
Of course he
So
would.
would
He
the
took an
Devils.
expansion
Yes.
team. This is the Stanley Cup Finals.
Expansion teams are supposed to suck for 5+ years till they can get their draft.
This
pick.
is what- this
He
is
took
what I-
Cup Finals, Conference Finals.
Yes.
And then this year they're still in the wild card.
2 mediocre months.
literally
I
in a
wouldn't.
playoff
I was gonna say
position
I
right
wouldn't
now.
call them a mediocre team. They're still in the
No,
playoffs.
but they've had 2 mediocre months with Gallant at the helm this year, and that's why he was fired. But this is what I told you. I told Nigel a few days ago, I guess it was last week, that I have some strange fascination with hating the Golden Knights, just because I think that there are a list of places.
Hold up. I'm going to quote Jacob McDonald here. Every time the word Vegas Golden Knights come up, his immediate response on either text or in person is illegitimate franchise.
They are an illegitimate franchise. I feel that to my bone. There are so many other places to put a hockey team that it would have been more wholesome for
Quebec
the sport.
Nordiques.
The Nordiques, babe. Bring back the Nords.
Who cares where you put it? Just don't put it in Vegas. The NHL wanted their foot in the door in Vegas. But back to what I was saying. I told you last week that the Vegas Golden Knights are doomed because they made the playoffs first year in their inaugural season, and they made Stanley Cup Finals where the Capitals beat them. They made the playoffs deep last year. They can expect nothing less than the playoffs now, and build from that. They just expect a playoff team, and that's just not the reality of the NHL. The NHL is the most.
I'd give it the most parity in all
It has the most parity out of all pro sports.
Like,
I
look
think.
at the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, Conor McGregor's good, but one superstar can't.
McGregor, he says.
Not
Conor
McGregor. Sorry, Conor. Yeah, sorry.
Cerrone.
That was. I'm fit.
Big
Cowboys.
boo-boo there, right?
That absolute beating of Cowboy Cerrone's been stuck in my head since Saturday.
Yes.
After watching
It's McJesus. Get your words straight, Nigel.
Can we hold up? This is real time. Can we talk about the fact
you see that goddamn goatee?
Can we talk about the fact that Conor McGregor turned a grown man into putty on a floor?
Yeah, a grown
punching
man,
bag.
as in 36-year-old
Yeah.
grown man,
like,
who is
it
actually
took
too
3
much of a grown man.
I love
to
that. No,
fight.
but like if you watch that fight, the UFC wanted that to go longer. At like 35 seconds, McGregor has that guy on the ground and turtle, and the ref's just sitting there letting McGregor absolutely feed him.
I didn't pay attention to the ref. Was it Herb Dean?
I don't know who it
Herb Dean.
was, but at 44 seconds, the ref was finally like, "Okay, this guy's gonna die."
Hey. To wrap up this whole thought, talking about the Astros and the coach firings, and do you want to know who
This whole thought, like 3 different topics, 4 different topics.
No, but it wraps up.
This is how this is gonna go. Though.
Do you
Like,
know?
I hope you know that we're not.
Do you
gonna stay
know
consistent.
what the whole Astros scandal affects just as much as the Astros, and it's very unfortunate, is the New York Mets. Beltran got
Yes.
fired.
We didn't even
No,
touch on that.
Beltran.
And
No,
we're-
I don't think he got fired. I think
Well,
he
Beltran was a player at the time.
Exactly. No, exactly. It's
But
my
didn't
point.
he?
Yeah.
Didn't he like excuse himself? Well,
It was
It was
quoted
mutual.
as saying mutual parting
which
of ways.
basically said, "Get out, or we're gonna
Yeah,
make you."
get out, or we're firing you and taking money
That
away
like
from you.
as a Yankees fan, you love to hate the Mets. You love to see them spin their tires every
Yeah,
year, but you hate to see them go
But to
through
be fair,
this. This is just
They had
it's
potential
collateral
with that.
damage.
Well, look what Bill, like, he'd been there and he brought in Dylan Betances on a pretty good 1-year
Yeah.
deal. They've got Pete Alonso. They've got Stroman. Stroman trade was
Good
I
for them.
wanted the Yankees to trade for Stroman, but the Jays wanted Gleyber Torres, and that was a no, sir.
No.
Yeah, I'm a Jays fan, and if that would have happened, I would have been
You'd won.
very
Well, we
very
would have
happy.
been out in the streets striking.
Marcus Stroman, as good as he is, I'm happy. I'm happy that he's no longer in a Blue Jays uniform.
Dude's a whiner.
Yeah.
He's an
Well-
absolute. You're right now.
Same
He's
with
an
Aaron
absolute
Sanchez.
whiner. And
If
I
they-
have another blister. But he get on the
unless
bench.
they were winning, they were upset. Which, when you're in a Canadian franchise,
for 1
which
year.
sadly can't
2
afford
years, sorry.
to pay players because of the American exchange, which I love that Ryu deal because they're not paying Ryu that. What is it like?
It's not that
I
expensive.
don't even know if it's $20 million a
I don't
year.
know
Is
the
it?
exact numbers.
It might be just over $20 million a year, but that's not bad. That's extremely good.
I think it's
for a
under
pitcher of
$20 million.
Ryu's caliber to get him
You
at
should
that
look that
kind of
up,
a
Greg.
cheap. Yeah, get that right now. But like for a caliber of Ryu to get him at that kind of a deal. But that's what worries me about this young core. If you can get them committed to Toronto, then I think they can be fine. But besides that, that's the only worry. If they're not committed to Toronto,
Actually, Nige is hilarious that you brought in the $20 million mark.
that
because
how
it is
much?
Literally $20 million.
Literally
year. It's
$20 million.
4 year 80.
that's
Yeah.
awesome for like that's
Well,
cheap.
That's beautiful to see.
Well, you look at what
I like Ryu. I like the signing that they made on Ryu. However, his numbers at the start of last year were inflated. They were inflated. They were talking about Cy Young for Ryu, Cy Young for Ryu. At the end of the year, his real form showed. That's not to take away anything from the actual signing because I think he's a lot better than anything that the Blue Jays could have pulled out of the minors or pulled out of anywhere. Yeah. I don't know. Ryu, he's great when he's great, but obviously he has his faults. And
I hope his NL to AL transfer works well for him. It's gonna be a difficult couple of games.
Well, the bonus he doesn't have to bat.
he doesn't have to bat.
That's a huge plus.
No, I understand it's a huge
Yeah.
plus, but look at R.A. Dickey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Jays also didn't know knuckleball pitchers need fielding, and when you guys first got R.A. Dickey, you didn't have it. So that was part of the problem. You were putting R.A. Dickey in a situation where you need fielding, and when he doesn't have that, I'm not saying R.A. Dickey did well in a Toronto uniform because I don't think he was amazing, but I don't think R.A. Dickey was as bad as a lot of people made him out to be.
No.
Like, yeah, he was a Cy Young winner at one point.
The Jays had their chance. They had that team. They blew Tulo away.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, here's
Well,
what
Tulo
they
got
did. They
ruined.
didn't fire John Gibbons.
Nice knee.
If you give I think 60% of the GMs in the MLB right now, that 2015, 2014 Jays roster, there's
Yeah.
a ring.
What's
They're
with the
in
Blue
line.
Jays obsession with hiring coaches, firing coaches, giving them 10 years once they fire them, and then bringing them back to see, I don't know, if they changed their ways with retirements.
Well, Jays are under new
It's 30 for
management,
30.
and the Jays. I don't know. If I was a Jays fan like you, Greg, I'd be a little sour. I mean, I know they got Ryu at the end of it, but they opened up. They didn't really get much.
No, they didn't get
They
much.
got Ryu.
They got much.
They got Ryu. That's it.
And I think Ryu was their number one target.
Yeah.
They got it. I mean, they got a couple of pieces, but they didn't get enough to progress their team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're really, really, really betting on Bichette, Guerrero, and
Well,
Biggio.
Bo is a fucking banger. Excuse my French. But Bo, look at Bo's first 12 games. What was it? I think he was hitting 440.
See that hair? Jeez.
Oh my! Okay, I know everybody was hyped about Vladdy, but I think Bo Bichette has the most swagger walking around the MLB.
Watch this
Bo's
year.
out there in shortstop looking like
Guerrero.
Joe Dirt.
Guerrero is a pure power hitter.
Absolutely,
Guerrero
100%.
But no, he's on third base right now. Is he going to be on third base in 2
I think
years?
he's gonna
No.
be. I think he's going to be Edwin
He's
Encarnacion,
going to be
which
DH.
ended up on first base.
He's going to be DH, first
First
base.
base DH.
Yeah.
We should talk about how underrated Kevin Biggio is.
Kevin
gonna be a
Biggio
good
was
player.
good.
He's solid. He's filthy.
He kind of flew under the radar. He came in last year.
You're bound
put
to
up good
fly.
numbers, and then he kind of flew under.
Yeah, let's be
Well,
real.
you're
as a Blue
bound
Jay.
to fly under the radar
got-
when you're going there with Bichette.
He got overshadowed by Bichette and Guerrero.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, everybody was. I'm surprised that I understand the Jays brought them up, but part of me was surprised because now that does leave them one less year.
They literally needed to.
They needed
But
to.
they
though.
needed to. When
They
you're
needed
this-
to fill the seats
When
somehow.
the only team with
Yeah.
worse attendance than you was the Miami Marlins, and Derek Jeter's running them into the dirt.
Can we just acknowledge? I had a buddy go to a Jays game in the summer, and I was thinking about this because he was there for their BP, right?
Yeah.
Guerrero, obviously, a
Yeah.
scene at BP.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think about the fact that the Blue Jays BP just as popular as the game because you have guys like Guerrero and Bichette. They needed it to sell tickets because let's face it, Randall Grichuk is not the future of your franchise. So get him the hell out of the goddamn organization.
This will be like 10 years ago this fall, maybe 10, 11 years ago this fall when I was in Toronto for my first and only Jays game.
Yeah.
They played the Yankees. And when the Jays and Yankees played, that stadium was packed.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people come from New York. As a Yankees fan, I just remember when Jeter went up to hit, all we heard was Jeter, and I was hyped. Mom wasn't happy. Shout out, Mom. I know you're a Jays fan, and I clown on your team a lot because they suck, and I call them the Lose Jays, and I'm a Yankees fan, and we're better, but I still love you.
You guys, you guys are gonna like this one. My mom's a Blue Jays fan along with me. My dad's a big Yanks fan.
Yeah.
Big Yanks.
Scott
Yeah.
Robinson, I've yet to meet you, but from what I've heard, you are an absolute beauty of a human being.
Yes.
They're
everywhere. Yankees fans are everywhere.
Also, did you see the reports that the Raiders are looking to land? Like, there's talk of Tom Brady being an Oakland Raider. It makes sense. I know it sounded crazy. Raiders have one of the best offensive lines in the league. Tom has protection.
It sounds crazy because it's crazy.
Tom has protection. Tom has a run game with Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
Tom has Darren Waller. Tom loves tight ends. He's got Darren Waller.
Okay, that's fine, Nige, but literally, you have Darren Waller.
He's not going to be an
I understand
Oakland
that.
Raider. He's going to be a Las Vegas Raider, whatever the frig they're going to be.
Man, not going to lie, that stadium's looking pretty nice, though.
Sexy.
Like, I saw
Yeah.
pictures of it, and I'm like, okay.
Well, it's right beside the road, isn't it?
Hey,
It's right beside
whoever
the highway.
thought that people would be going to Las Vegas to get like a binge watch of sports going? You get a Knights game in.
Can we talk about the fact that the
Yeah.
Oakland Athletics think going to Vegas is going to solve the problem of the fact that they can't win one and done games?
Well, it's
They're
a city
0-9.
issue. It's a city issue.
But I don't think Oakland
Is it a
was
city
that
issue
bad.
though? Is it because the Warriors are doing pretty well? Not this year, but they've been doing pretty damn
And the
well.
Oakland, the Raiders, even when they sucked, could fill the black hole. People love the black hole.
It's
I
don't
just
know.
think the Athletics have been irrelevant since Moneyball. You know what I'm going to segue to?
Yeah.
What do you boys think the Devils need to do to get back to the 1995-05 glory days? Because I'm going to tell you what they need to do right now.
There's a lot that needs to be
Hire
done.
the Preds ex-coach. You can say his name. I can't. Because
Peter
we
Laviolette.
need defensive structure. Send PK. I don't care if we lose value on PK. Ship
Well-
PK Subban's at useless arse out of the New Jersey. Our offense is fine.
Nigel-
We get rid of Taylor Hall and Nico Hischer's out there dropping bombs and banging moms. We've got Kyle Palmieri out there. Blake Coleman's looking like a stud. Jack Hughes is going to develop. Mackenzie Blackwood would be a great goalie if he wasn't getting 45 shots a game. Like, he still saves, what is he? He gets like 45 shots and saves 42.
Nige, you're saying all of these
That's
things,
nuts.
but you're still
Oh,
You're
we
still at the
suck.
bottom of the league.
like trash.
Well, yeah, because because we decided to bring Corey Schneider back up. Why? 17 shots. He lets in 4 goals.
you're
against
also
the
you're not
Blue Jackets.
you're not for, like dead last.
No,
you're
that's
not getting
Detroit.
Lafreniere.
Because Detroit doesn't understand. Detroit hasn't had anything happy happen in that city since the 09 Red Wings.
Hey, Pens, baby. All it took was Don Cherry holding that octopus on that river. Hey, brought home the dub. You people. Controversial. All right. So the Devils.
The Devils, well, you said that Subban needs to go even if you lose value on him. Nige, I am not a Subban fan by any stretch of the imagination.
Who is except for like
But
diehard.
he has
Canadians
been
fans.
atrocious this year.
Oh yeah.
But
That's
the fact that you're ready to give away Subban signifies further problems for you because you traded. No, actually, you got him in the free agency. You got Subban in free agency. So
No, we traded for him.
Yeah, no,
Did you?
they traded for
No, we got
was
Wayne
it?
Simmons on free agency.
I
We
guess
traded
so.
for
Yes,
Subban because Nashville wanted to dump that $20 million a year contract.
So
No duh.
Subban.
Blame them.
I mean, he's only got 2 years left, so
he's
I guess we could
controversial.
keep him, but he's not doing much.
But nobody's doing much on your team, Nigel. That's what you need to understand.
Listen,
I understand where you're coming from, but like to get rid of Subban like less than a year after you sign him,
It's a little bit of it's a little quick.
it's quick.
I think you can
It's
keep him for the
premature.
next 2 years, but like the fact that guy had 3 points in 40-something games is atrocious.
You know what you guys needed to do?
Fire John Hines in October.
And this is gonna sound ridiculous because this was a very hot topic when it was prevalent, but you losing Adam Larson is now hurting you.
Yeah.
And hurting you hard.
I don't know. Trading Larson for Taylor Hall and then dumping Taylor Hall for a bunch of prospects.
No, I understand why it's
That's
good.
like a solid.
No, dude. If New Jersey, if Edmonton called me up and was like,
But
give me a Taylor Hall.
But were the
Adam
prospects
Larson?
that good though? Like I didn't even
we
know
also
any of
got,
them.
no, but we got a first round. We got I think 2 first round picks out of it too.
Two first rounds? I don't think you got 2 first rounds.
I know we got one.
You got Kevin Ball.
We got
Got
one.
a
We
unit.
got
Yes.
their
He's good.
first round.
He's
this
from
year.
Newfoundland.
No,
isn't
no, we got a
Yeah.
first and a
Nah,
second.
is
but
he?
we-
I think
might
he
be.
is.
We either got their first next year or their first this year
Ball
or their
is
first
good.
next year.
I know that.
So going into a draft with 2 first round picks when you know one of them is going to be top 5. The Devils aren't getting out of that hole. One of them is going to be top 5.
Absolutely.
And then I think the Coyotes are going to have a higher pick, but still that's 2 first round picks. That's pretty good.
You know, it's just like
I don't think they're going to turn this around quickly, but in 3 to 5 years, I think the Devils will be a solid team again. If they'd stop trying to start Corey Schneider over
Nige.
Blackwood
Nige.
and let the guy develop, it would be fine.
Do you still back up the Jack Hughes pick?
Yes. Because Capo Caco, the goal scorer that we should have
Yeah,
paid,
but neither of
isn't
them have
doing
been.
better.
But neither of them have been stellar.
Boys,
The fact that your argument for Jack Hughes as your pick is Capo Caco hasn't been better.
Yeah, but to be fair,
they're both like around the same level.
how
Like,
many 18-year-olds come into the league and light it up? Connor McDavid, but Connor McDavid's a freak of nature.
Don't you mean McGregor?
Shut up. I mean, anyways, Connor McGregor, that
You-
wasn't a
you hit a nerve there. You hit a nerve.
That wasn't a hostile. Shut up. That was like let me get my. But anyways, Connor McDavid is the best player in the NHL right now.
Absolutely.
But like Jack Hughes isn't going to be the best player in the NHL. Jack Hughes is going to be a very solid player, but I have no problem with that pick. That kid's 18, young as heck, and has plenty of time to develop.
I saw Capo Caco play live, and I swear to God, it was like his speed is unmatched on the
But
ice.
Jack Hughes also lit up they both lit up World Juniors last year.
Yes.
I think they're
Yeah.
both going to be stellar hockey players, but no 18-year-old comes in the league and blows it away unless you're Connor McDavid. But Connor McDavid's also one of the best things to touch the ice.
like
It's just one of these things where I can't see the Devils getting to a point where they're competitive within the next 5 years.
I don't know. I can see it. If
Jack
they
Hughes
don't,
in the World Juniors wasn't really that impressive.
No, Quinn was way better.
Yeah.
if they don't dump, if they don't do anything stupid.
Big American prospects tend to disappoint in the World Juniors.
Yeah.
Yeah, American prospects in general.
It's going to be a loaded Canadian draft this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's going to be
Caulfield
loaded.
did absolutely jack shit in the World Juniors.
Yeah.
Nothing.
But there's not a lot, like you look at the American studs in the hockey league. There's not even like a lot of your hockey players to this day are still Swedes, Canadians, and Russians,
Yeah.
and
Finns.
Czechs, Finns and Czechs too.
Finns are grown. There have been more and more
Finns
Finns.
have
Finns-
a country of 6 million people, and they're
Finland
pumping out
hockey players are starting
like
to become
crazy.
nuts.
Goaltending from Finland.
That's another thing I wish the Devils would do.
Goaltending from Russia.
I think
is
the
big
only
now.
like non-American Canadian on our team that I can think of right now is Nikita Gusev, and that wasn't not a great deal. Can the New Jersey Devils start looking at people that aren't American?
Yeah, and I genuinely think that the American style of play is kind of being branched out of
Yeah.
the NHL. They play more of a big, brawn, burly type.
The
of
NHL is
style,
becoming a
and it's
finesse
just-
league.
Absolutely,
It is.
Like
It
Well,
already
score,
is. It
scoring
already
is
is.
up this
and
year.
it's been brought. You know the person who I'm going to say brought this on? Sidney Crosby.
Absolutely.
When Sidney Crosby started, everybody said he wasn't the elite hockey player because he wasn't physical. Now Sidney Crosby's revolutionized hockey to become a finesse league.
you get a player like Alexander Ovechkin, who is the best pure goal scorer of
Since
all
Wayne
time,
Gretzky.
and he can drop someone in a fight. I mean, let's
Ovi's
just
not a big guy, but Ovi's fast.
no.
Ovi's
Ovi
willing
is a
to-
big guy, man.
Ovi's a huge guy.
Ovi
Well,
is
He,
humongous.
but he's also for his speed extremely fast.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
He's also, I agree, best goal scorer ever. I think Ovi's going to retire as the top goal scorer in NHL history.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
anybody who's going to touch, maybe Connor McDavid one day, but I don't even know if Connor McDavid
As of this past week, he had
past Mario Lemieux.
he passed Marilyn Mew, tied Steve Yzerman. He had 2 hat tricks and like back-to-back hat tricks. He had one against the Islanders and one against the Devils. So, I mean, people are saying, "Oh, you're going to see a regression. You're going to see a slowing down of Alexander Ovechkin soon." I don't know, man. I don't know when the slowdown's going to come. He's into
He
his
could be like
30s,
Brady.
well into his 30s now.
He could be like Brady, hit him like a truck.
It could.
Oh,
It very well could.
I hope it doesn't. I used to argue with a
Ovechkin's
neighbor down the
just-
road just because it would piss him off that Ovi was better than Crosby. Crosby's a better playmaker, but Ovi is a better
Scorer.
Ovi's
Yes.
ridiculous.
He's not. I
Ovi's
know-
also a year old. Like I don't know I don't know their age. I just know Ovi's a year longer into the league. Also,
Is he,
speaking
though?
of people long in the league, this is going to be a very short thing. So why don't we predict how long before Travis Zajac turns into dust on the ice? I know he's only 34, but he's now 16 years on the ice.
You see,
He's been on the Devil since 04 when he was
the
drafted.
majority of people out there who actually happen to be listening to this podcast
Have no
wouldn't
Who the
know
fuck
who.
is Travis Zajac?
Yeah, they wouldn't know who Travis Zajac is, so
listen,
they wouldn't be able to tell you,
I can
Nigel.
name like most of the 2012 Devils roster that went to the Cups and got spanked by Johnny Quick and the LA Kings.
Yeah.
But like nobody knows who Dinas Subris.
Nige, I'm gonna give you a hint.
Zach
buddy. That was
Parise is-
8 years ago.
Yeah.
Listen,
We were 11 years old, mate.
Martin Brodeur is still the best goalie to ever touch the ice.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah, but
I'd have to.
Tell me
I'd
who's
have
better.
to.
Tell me who's better.
no one. I'm not saying
Okay.
that. I'm not saying that.
When you said,
anybody
I thought you were going to say Patrick Waugh, and I was going to be like, look at the stats.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. Okay, if you want to just look at the stats, Peyton Manning's better than Tom Brady. But if you're,
I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah.
No.
I think he is in
System
general.
QB.
But that's a whole different. Oh, Tom Brady's just assistant
Yeah.
QB.
Yeah.
Without Belichick, Tom Brady's not even top 5. But we're not going to get on that.
That's for another day.
That's a
but
hot
that's
a
topic.
rainy day.
But that's not as
We
much of a
just-
hot topic
4
because
people just tuned out.
Yeah.
we all
4 people.
We all genuinely
Everybody
agree with that.
listening.
Hey, Shannon Cornelius, your favorite well, I don't know if he's your favorite quarterback. You want him to retire. But you wouldn't have 6 Super Bowls if Bill Belichick wasn't your coach.
He's the best coach of all time, Nige. I'm sorry.
Oh,
He
I'll
is.
give him...
Lombardi is not.
I don't...
No.
But if you had given Lombardi more of the Super Bowl era, would he have done better?
Nige.
Lombardi
It's
won
just-
5 NFL championships.
Yeah,
and that's
because he had like the only guys that could run, I don't know, under a 6 and a 40.
Yeah, but let's point out the fact that Lombardi was only around for 2 Super Bowls, and he won them both. Like, would he have won more if he was in the Super Bowl era longer?
I mean, Nige, of course he would have, but okay. But if you put Bill Belichick's mind in that era, he would have won more than.
Oh,
Lombardi. That's
Bill
my
is
argument.
Bill is the best by far coach, especially defensive wise. Like Bill's not the offense. Bill runs a defense. Like
Josh McDaniels is a
Josh
very,
I hope
very
Josh
good offensive
McDaniels. Can I hope Josh McDaniels gets hired as the head coach again, so people can stop saying that he's like the greatest thing to walk the earth. Like he didn't
He's
run
a
a train
good
wreck.
offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
Nige.
but being a good offensive coordinator and being a good head coach are 2 different things.
They are 2 different things.
Josh
Two
McDaniels.
very different.
Anytime Josh McDaniels has been out of Denver, it has been a dumpster fire. Not out of Denver, sorry, out of New England. I was thinking about his time with Denver, which was horrendous.
Horse trash
Like I think,
shit.
I
Straight
think
out of a
Adam
Denver
Gase.
Broncos fan's
I
mouth.
think the 7-9 Adam Gase led Jets are better than the Josh McDaniels
I'm
Broncos.
seeing ghosts.
Well, what's
Darnold.
Mike McCarthy going to do next year?
Free Zeke will be trending by week 4 on Twitter.
America's team. What's America's team going to do
America's
next
team hired Mike McCarthy, the guy who couldn't figure out how to win a Super Bowl with more than one Super Bowl with one of the best quarterbacks to ever play. Can we talk about the fact that when you have a 19-0 lead on the best defense in the world, what should you do? Pull the game.
dang ball.
But should you pull the game to a screeching halt and play
Blindside
prevent?
reference.
Yeah, I know. Or would you keep scoring and put the game out of reach when the other team has Russell Wilson? Or
I don't know, Nige. It seems like you know what to do.
Yeah, how about we keep the foot on the throat?
Nige, if you're so good, man, why aren't
Why
you
don't you just
coaching the
coach?
goddamn
Because
Cowboys?
trust me, why would I want to coach the Cowboys? I hate Jerry Jones. Okay, but like when you coach the Cowboys, you don't coach the Cowboys. You're Jerry Jones' puppet. That's why he hired Mike McCarthy. You can tell Mike McCarthy.
The
do whatever
Dallas
he
Cowboys
wants.
will not have a prosperous season, and by that I mean Super Bowl. While Jerry Jones is
No.
involved
No,
in the
because Jerry.
franchise.
That's why they didn't hire Urban Meyer, Lincoln Riley, because they would want to control, and Jerry won't give it up. Jerry was a great GM in the '80s with Herschel Walker was around, and he traded everything away, like got everything for Herschel Walker. But in the modern era, Jerry Jones is not a good general manager.
It's hard to see. It's just hard. Like you don't even have to have an affiliation with a team where the owners just they want to do too much. Like you know, Nigel and I talk about it a lot ourselves. You know, Detroit, the Ford family. They don't want to give up. They don't want to give up the team. And a few weeks ago, Jeff Bezos, although it was told to be untrue, the report was claimed to be false. Bezos wanted to buy the Detroit Lions. for
Jeff Bezos has all the money in
for
the
the
world.
buzz that it generated,
You're gonna put them
a
on
change
Amazon
in
or something?
ownership in Detroit would be the best thing to ever
There
happen
are
for that
two
franchise.
franchises who desperately need new owners, and it's the Washington. Not going to say the name because it's it's racist.
100%.
The Washington colored skins.
The Redskins.
the Redskins, and then the Detroit Lions. The Washington Redskins need a new owner because Dan Snyder kills anything he touches. Dwayne Haskins, I don't think would be a bad quarterback if he was anywhere that had a semblance of way to develop him. The Redskins killed RG3, generational talent murdered due to Mike Shanahan and the Redskins. Ryan Kerrigan's like the only thing of notice, and Ryan Kerrigan wants out. Look at Preston Smith. Preston Smith looked like crap in Washington. Green Bay pays him like minuscule. He comes to Green Bay and gets what, like 11 sacks? 12 sacks? That's just pure wasted
I'd also
talent.
like to add the New York Knicks to the list of teams that need to change ownership. You guys might laugh at me for this.
No, I
but
agree.
the Knicks need to change ownership because under James Dolan, this team has suffered. They will never win a chip under James Dolan. They will never win anything under their current ownership because they let Fizz coach that team into the ground until it was just too bad this season. The miraculous recovery of their assistant coach, Mike Miller, comes out of the dark and says, "Oh, I guess I can, have a 500 record in our first 12 games or something like that."
Yep.
Like, where was that with Fizz? Like, the ownership believed in Fizz to the point where it just became so toxic, and that's the case everywhere where it is a bad ownership situation. They believe too much in the coach.
It's a lot of loyalty.
If
In Dallas, it happened in Dallas.
Oh, yeah, Jason Garrett should have been fired.
Jason Garrett should have been fired years ago.
It happened in Green Bay.
It happened.
It took the Ted Thompson relieving, and Ted Thompson did a lot of good things in Green Bay, but Ted Thompson's failure of free agency is what screwed us. But it took a new GM to say Mike McCarthy's getting complacent. We need change. And it worked. I'm not saying Mike McCarthy's a bad coach. Mike McCarthy got complacent and stagnant.
Yeah,
I hope he does great things with Dallas. I'm not a big Mike McCarthy fan. I wasn't since 2014. But I don't wish failure upon him because I still think if he can adapt, he can be a great coach like he was in the early 2000s, like mid to late 2000s.
he makes the playoffs with the Cowboys next year.
Oh, for sure, because
100%. He goes about he'll
think
probably
he'll
mess
unlock-
around, go 10-6.
I think I genuinely think
I'm
hoping he does
QB.
what he's done with. Well, Rodgers is also smart, but I'm hoping if he can cut Dak's turnovers down, like because Dak threw I think like 13 picks this year. Granted, Dak had a great year. So did Zeke. Like the Cowboys'
the
offense led
contract.
every. Can we point out the fact that when your offense leaves every single stat but points scored, you have a problem. And that's not on Zach Taylor. That's because Jason Garrett would settle for field goals on a 4th and 1 in the 10. Like why? You are better off to go with you. You have one of the best running backs in the game, a young quarterback. You have
Well, I
Amari
own
Cooper.
Zeke in fantasy this year, and you know damn well that Zeke was trash.
Okay,
The
but at
first-
least you didn't draft Saquon.
at least, but Saquon was injured.
Yeah, but even when he came
Everyone
back,
laughed
Zeke
at me when I
Zeke was not
drafted
injured.
Michael Thomas at 8.
Yes,
That
Can I
played.
point out the fact
was
that
a
I drafted?
sleeper
I
pick.
got Aaron Jones. Can we also point out the fact that I got Russell Wilson in the? I drafted Big Ben before Russell Wilson.
well, Big Ben didn't work out too well.
We also point out
guess
the
if
fact
we're-
that one of the worst teams in the league had Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if we're talking our fantasy league, we got to give a little shout out to
Matt
fucking
Dingham.
Diggy.
Matt
If you're listening
Yeah.
to this dig, screw you. If I'd have played Saquon, I would have beat you. Ryan Tannehill and AJ Brown.
Nige, you're literally
let
just
it
so
surge.
salty. He literally dominated
Yeah.
the entirely every year.
I
Nige,
know.
you can't.
Hey, who handed Diggy his only regular season losses?
Nige, we understand you.
Me.
You tell everyone that
Yeah.
every time you
This
meet
is
them.
this
It's what
is a
Friday
known statistic for anyone
listen.
involved in the league.
Listen,
It's
it's
just
not my fault you guys didn't make playoffs.
Nige, no one was arguing that.
Nobody's arguing this.
Listen,
Nigel,
I'm holding on to the
Nigel,
little bit of pride I have.
you took the championship for granted. You thought it was going to come to you automatically, and then
Well,
Diggy he showed you up.
I also am
He
gonna be.
showed
I'm
you
also
up.
gonna be completely
That's plain
honest.
Straight
simple.
up dominated
Anything
the
I
league.
touched in free agency, I was the cancer. If I brought you in from free agency, your career died. Look at Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs was awful. I traded him. He goes lights out the rest
And that
of
is
the year.
150% your fault.
That is me. That is me touching players.
It if we're talking on NFL coaches, The whole NFL Coach of the Year discussion is heating
Don't
up.
give it Harbaugh.
Yeah, no.
Greg Roman.
The
got
top.
there.
So
Give it to Kyle Shanahan. Give it to Kyle Shanahan.
Bleacher Report. If we want to talk about their validity, doesn't really take. They had Harbaugh at 1. They had Shanahan at 2, Flores at 3, McDermott 4, and I can't remember who was 5.
It was
I'm pretty sure it was Matt LaFleur at 5.
Matt LaFleur's not going to get it, and Rich Eisen pointed this, and Rich Eisen 100% right. Matt LaFleur's not going to get it because if the Packers had a losing season, it'd be, why you had Aaron Rodgers? Why couldn't you win? But if Matt LaFleur wins, it's, you had Aaron Rodgers. You should win.
Yeah, you are in a hard situation.
Like,
there.
there's no way a Green Bay coach is getting coached.
I can tell you who's not getting it, and that's Matt Nagy.
You know who else?
Shout out to the Bears.
Hey, Vic Fangio.
He got it
you
last year.
fucking
He's not going to be a repeat.
What do you mean Vic Fangio still led your defense? Like, I don't think Vic Fangio is your problem. I think it's the fact that John Elway has been incompetent in drafting quarterbacks.
Oh, okay.
Drew Lock looks like a stud.
Yeah, so there's your point.
He also gave Emmanuel Sanders away for a 3rd and a 4th.
Yeah,
you
that
could
was
have
pretty
easily.
That was bad.
You could have
That was
easily.
bad.
I think
That
the
was
Packers would have been willing to give a 2nd, but I think the Niners were the first thing that offered, and he just took it.
In my eyes, in my personal opinion, I think that the coach of the year of the NFL should 150% be Sean McDermott because of the fact that the Bills, Buffalo Bills, were one drive away from making the AFC divisional game.
They've been so used to a losing record, a losing season that.
Yeah, it's their first 10-win season since the 90s.
Yeah.
Crazy. First 10 wins, I think it was 20 years. Can we ask, before the season started, name one player you know on the Bills defense? Me, Micah Hyde, because he used to be a Packer.
I was going to say Micah Hyde and Trey White.
I didn't even know Trey White. Trey White, controversial. I think Trey White should get DPOY over Stephon Gilmore. They had identical stats. Trey White let up less touchdowns.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Okay.
I would think about it. I'd probably still.
I guess Trey White had one less pick, but Stephon Gilmore got the pleasure of playing the Bengals.
I think I'd still take
when the Bengals were starting Ryan Finley over Andy Dalton.
Anyways, I think McDermott should get NFL Coach of the Year for the sole reason that he made Josh Allen into an absolute stud.
Yes, he made him into a weapon.
Devin Singletary looks dangerous.
Yes,
Can we talk about him?
Can we talk about Smokey Brown? Everybody used Smokey Brown as a deep threat, and that guy's looking like a legit wide receiver.
I know.
But I'm gonna say this. This is part of me bragging. I said coming out of that quarterback class, I said, and this is where I'm gonna be wrong. I said Sam Darnold would be the best quarterback. That was wrong.
That was very
but
wrong.
That can I think that can change.
It can change. Anything can change.
And I didn't expect.
I
don't know
if nightmares.
If Lamar Jackson stays consistent, I will be completely wrong. But I said Josh Allen would be the second best quarterback out of this class. I said he had accuracy issues, but those can be fixed.
Hey, did you guys see the
athleticism with that kind of a cannon of an arm?
Did you see the video of him throwing the ball 70 yards in the air at the combine?
Yeah, and it's ridiculous.
I was on my couch. I was watching. I shit my pants.
Him and Patrick Mahomes have two of the best. Patrick Mahomes is like free. I don't know if he'd be good without Andy Reid, but I won't get into that. He's a free. But I said Josh Allen would be. I said he's an arm. I said, and if Sean McDermott, which he is, he's developing. Granted, he's not a star quarterback yet, but he can run. He's not afraid of contact. He reminds me a lot of Cam Newton without cockiness. Cam Newton was cocky because Cam Newton knew he was good.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is just straight up humble stud.
Cam Newton's all talk until you have to dive on a ball in the Super Bowl. Thank you very much, by the way.
Yeah, that's also because
that ruined that game. That thing.
Can I point out the fact that
how
scared would you be if Von Miller was making your right tackle look like an 8-year-old child and running at you at approximately? Was it Michael Orr at that point?
Yeah.
No, Michael Orr's left tackle.
I don't think he was their left tackle.
I know, but that's where he played.
I know that, but I do think he was their right tackle.
I'm not 100%. Anyways, besides the fact, Mom's a big Michael Orr fan. Mom,
The Blind Side.
don't hate Greg. I know you love Michael Orr.
No, Blindside is actually one of my top 3 movies of all time.
Me and my family can quote
Sandra Bullock played a great role in that movie. She held it up, and then Michael Orr.
And she's
the whole story is
she's
just
an absolute.
Can I just point out that,
heartwarming.
like, I at least
Football
once,
movies are the best.
That I once
Football
a year,
movies are so
that I
good.
once a
Remember
year
the Titans? Oh,
sit here and I quote, "Where were you taking that man, son? To
Yeah.
the bus. It was time for him to go home." I swear, I quote that at least once every 6 months.
Hey, can we all just acknowledge that Sandra Bullock was so hot in that movie?
Greg, when I was 11, I wasn't thinking, "Wow, Sandra Bullock's hot." I was like, "Man, SJ is the boy." SJ,
can I
point
SJ? Man.
SJ's
annoying fucking prick.
You know what he is?
Sorry,
SJ's a future pimp. That's what he is.
SJ
He's a straight
single-handedly caused a car crash in that movie.
He also
He's the villain.
He also
villain.
single-handedly
Madden. Got to get that Madden.
Yeah, I was gonna say he also single-handedly finessed his mom into the new Madden.
We're just gonna go pick
which
up
I know
this new
from
Madden, the new
Listen,
truck.
I know from experience that Madden was a Christmas gift. It wasn't a new thing; it was a Christmas gift.
get Madden for
so
Christmas every year.
So the fact that he
Straight up,
finessed,
Mom, Dad.
the fact that he now I pre-ordered it because I can't wait that long.
Yeah.
For a game that makes me want to throw a controller through a wall. I'll get into yeah. We can do a rant on. But anyway, can we fact the fact that this man was able to finesse his mom into getting the new Madden that day? Like that is sweet.
Well, they're
they're
rich.
also
Nige. They're
loaded.
loaded. Nige.
Listen,
Hey,
like,
can we all talk?
they bought Michael a truck.
Hey.
You know, I got to top you. Why do you guys think home field advantage is a big deal in sports? Like, it obviously, like, if you look at a team right now.
Well, it all depends on where you're playing.
Yeah, but let's look at Miami. But even in basketball, the Miami Heat are 18-1 at home. Last time I checked. That's ridiculous.
Because the American Airlines Center is buzzing.
But that's like,
that what
you
it's
look at the NFL.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, you look at,
It's
you go
something
to,
like that.
you go
I
to
think it is.
CenturyLink Field in Seattle or Arrowhead.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah.
loud. You go to Foxborough, what used to be Mile High, which is still bad. Lambeau.
Lambeau is
Soldier
hard
Field.
to play in.
I don't know why Minnesota put themselves
But is
indoors.
Soldier Field that hard to play in?
It's cold.
It's cold.
But
freezing.
the difference with Lambeau is you can get negative degrees Fahrenheit and snow.
I guess in football, home field advantage for the northern teams is more than
And like,
just the crowd.
let's be real, Bears fans are pretty loyal. Even
They
though
are,
you guys have dealt with the Jim McMahon
No, Bears
hangover
fans
since
are
'85.
loyal.
But you guys are pretty loyal.
You're right. You're right.
Cutler.
Yes, Jay
Kyle
Cutler,
Orton.
Smoking Jay.
Can I point out the fact that, like, shout out to Dad, I know you're listening, but my dad was the happiest man alive when Jay Cutler got traded. I remember I had Madden 09 and Jay Cutler was the quarterback of the Denver Broncos. And whenever I played with
Smoking
Denver,
Jay.
I'd hear Jay Cutler dad go, "I hate that man."
Hey. Shout out to Nigel's family if they haven't heard it already. We love you.
Listen, listen. I know we're getting like 8 viewers, and most of them are families. You gotta
absolutely.
you gotta give them a plug.
No, man. My dad and my uncle are gonna be sitting at their work watching this at lunch, and they're just gonna be making fun of us for an hour and a half. Hey, I'm
That's
alright
fair
with it.
though.
Yeah, I'm alright with it. Hey,
First episode.
Listen, my dad's
what do
been
you
making
expect?
fun of me since birth. It's just the common that's our family bonding is just like a Comedy Central roast. Jacob's heard it over the phone.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
It's all right though.
So, who's your guys' player of the week? Honestly, mine would have to be Elvis. Elvis Merzlikins comes from Latvia. Just comes out of nowhere. 3 shutouts. His opening in the NHL on Columbus. Is this real?
I've got
A Latvian goaltender, first off. A Latvian goaltender. Elvis Merzlikins just comes up.
Can you imagine naming your
Nobody
kid
knows.
Elvis?
Nobody has heard of him. And then he just comes up.
Oh, I have 2. And one of them hurts. There's Ovi, which kind of hurts. But like honestly, of course Ovi's going to put a hat trick on the Devils. Everybody puts a hat trick.
Well,
the one that hurts, Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa.
Okay,
Okay, let's put it. David Bakhtiari coming into the season was the #1 rated left tackle. Granted, he's still a top 5. Nick Bosa made him look like the tackle that was taken second
he
overall.
looked like a kebab.
He looked like Greg Robinson, that tackle that was taken at number 2 that got exposed.
Hey, I was so hyped when he got picked #2. I was like, whoa. That guy's the same position and everything.
And same position and name, and then the Rams watched him get exposed.
Yeah.
That's who, like, Nick Bosa has, like, I swear, if Joey Bosa ends up in San Francisco,
Bosa bros.
How do I become a Niners fan?
No, like, honest to God, like, he 100% clear cut
Defensive
he's
rookie of the
staying
year.
or he's going.
Yeah.
Defensive rookie of the year.
Foolish.
That's where defensive rookie of the year, obviously. But that one hurts because I watched him turn Aaron Rodgers into a pancake.
Yeah. Since Nige picked 2 players of the week, I mean, I guess I'm gonna pick 2
Well,
players.
Jesus, I only
It was
got
a
to
hard
pick one.
decision. What?
I didn't pick Ovi
Okay, no,
because
pick your
I don't
second.
want to be
Hey,
much of a homer.
Pick your second. I'll go after you. Pick your second.
I mean,
Sorry for breaking the system.
you did break the system, Nige.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
I guess we're getting used to it, though.
Okay, can we put it, like, if you honestly think there's a structure to this, then laugh yourself to the bank.
The beer league. Honestly, man, I hate to pick 2 hockey players, but Ovi's got to be. He
6
he
goals
moved
in
into the
games.
top 10 goal scorers of all time
Yeah.
No, he's
this week.
Is it? I thought Lemieux was higher than 10.
No, he tied Eiserman with 9.
Okay. That's still filthy.
That's filthy.
And he's still
That's
got.
crazy.
How old's Ovi?
I mean,
30.
Lemieux lost a couple years because of his cancer.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Okay, Ovi's 34. I think Ovi's going to make at least 37.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I don't think Ovi's going to be a
Hey,
younger.
his teeth and hair won't, but he
33. He's about 33.
Listen, Ovi's teeth
30,
didn't make his
yeah,
20s.
He's 33. I'm pretty sure he's 33
Well, if you're
because
talking about Ovi's teeth, they didn't
Nick
make his
Backstrom
20s.
just signed a contract for
5
5 years. Great hometown deal because he wants to stay there until he retires
awesome.
with Ovi. He's 32. He's going to be 37 when that expires.
He'll
And
retire after
Ovi
that,
is a
too.
year older, so he's 33.
The two of them are studs.
Almost sure.
My players of the week, my number one is Raheem Mostert because, like,
Ran
to
all
200
over.
like 29
The
carries, 220
It was
yards,
beautiful.
It was
And-
7-something yards a carry.
and
That's
4
disgusting.
touchdowns against a Packers defense that
Yeah.
looked very
It was
competent.
good. It was
before,
good.
Okay.
It was a good
Okay.
defense this year.
I will
here
say
we go.
No. Passing wise, I'm not disagreeing. Passing wise, we were I think third in allowed passer rating, completion rating.
Yeah.
There was 2 flaws with the Packers defense: run game and big play.
Yeah.
The Cowboys exposed in the Niners in the first game exposed the big play. The Packers had the highest percentage of
Yeah.
like big plays or something like that. And like every single time we've been beat so far, Philadelphia, Jordan Howard ran all over us. That's PTSD because he used to do it with the Bears. Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler went on a tear with us when we lost to the Chargers. Rodgers can't play in California. It's a known. It's always been a thing. And this year, and then the Niners, both games, ran all over us. Only thing I was kind of hoping when we lost, I was hoping to see more George Kittle because I think he's the best tight end in the league.
He is.
Because
Well,
in the
you'll
first
see him
game,
in the Super Bowl. I can guarantee you
listen,
that.
honestly, I think that game's going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
Because there's no containing Patrick Mahomes. If you think you're containing Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, McCole Hardman, Travis Kelce, even Shady McCoy still has a bit of that, jukey edge. And Damian Williams is overrated.
Damian
as can
Williams
be.
does jack shit until they're on the 2-yard line. He punches him for a touchdown and gets paid $15 million a year.
Can we
Sit
also
the hell down?
point out, can we point out the fact that
That's the best, 5-second rant.
okay,
That was like
you know who's not
pre-concocted.
getting recognition right now for being an absolute beauty and a weapon? Tyrann Mathieu. The Honey
Yeah.
Badger he's the only thing that Chiefs secondary has, and he's going off.
My
You're right.
you're right. My second player of the week, I don't know how neither of you guys thought of this guy, but it's got to be the man, the absolute gun, Joe Burrow, who won the national championship.
Dropping
for LSU.
bombs and banging
moms.
Can I point out the fact? I think
Had.
you know how you know Joe Burrow's going to be a stud? When you have a video of you posted smoking
a cigar immediately.
Also in front of
They slapped Bama. They went. They were one of the I don't know if they were the first team to go undefeated, but they didn't But they did it in that.
Clemson went undefeated.
Can we point out the
last
fact
year.
that first playoff game, LSU broke 10 college football playoff records?
Yeah, man.
And Joe Burrow, that man threw, I think it was 400 yards and 6 touchdowns in the first half. When you come out in the second half to receive the kickoff and put your backup quarterback in, oh my God.
This whole Joe Burrow talk, it wraps really, really well into one of the topics that I've been very excited to discuss.
Go for it.
If you were an NFL coach, GM, front office, if you were an organization
Yes.
and you needed a quarterback and Trevor Lawrence was in this year's draft, who are you taking number 1 overall?
Burrow.
Who are you taking,
Burrow.
Jacob?
I'm taking Burrow.
I'm taking Lawrence.
Do you know
Hey.
why? I'm gonna give my arguments.
Yeah, give
I
your
don't think
arguments, 'cause I'm gonna
Trevor
prove
Lawrence
them
is a
all
bad quarterback, but I'm looking at the fact that yes, Trevor Lawrence is mobile and he's crazy mobile. Joe Burrow's still athletic. Joe Burrow can move in the pocket. Joe Burrow honestly this season reminded me a lot of prime Rodgers, and I'm a homer. But watching a guy who can evade and just cannon it down the field, like
Don't
Joe
get me
Burrow
wrong,
wasn't
Joe Burrow is
like that guy was
insane.
dropping huge, set 50, 40-yard throws. And it reminded me so much of Rodgers because he wasn't really stepping into it. It was just natural release for, a 30-yard bomb. And, I appreciate... But, I love Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence will be successful unless he ends up... But even when you end up with trash franchises, Kyler Murray's went off with the Cardinals.
Kyler
They
Murray
both-
has
Also,
such an
Larry
underrated
Fitzgerald's coming back.
rookie season.
Love Larry Fitz. I really wish, like when he was going into free agency way back in like 2016, I wish he had to sign with the Packers.
Arizona's going to be
Cliff Kingsbury's becoming a revolutionary coach. That Chandler Jones, why he's not getting talk for Defensive Player of the Year, was a filthy stuff. Okay, DPOY, my opinion, shouldn't go to Gilmore, should go to TJ Watt. TJ Watt played like a stud. But anyways, back into the talk. I love Lawrence, but I do think in the end, even with Cincinnati, if Andy Dalton could get stats in Cincinnati, Joe Burrow is going to go off.
Okay, let's take away the fact that it's Cincinnati. Just
I would still to this day. Joe Burrow reminds me a lot of Deshaun Watson. And the fact that I think he's one of the most
not as mobile.
No, but like what I'm getting at is one of the most NFL ready prospects going into the draft.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
You could put him on an NFL field and he'd be ready.
Yeah, but do you know why he's NFL ready, gentlemen?
Because he's 24.
He's 20.
He is 20.
3
But
years
age
old.
in quarterbacks, like Brady's only losing a step at 40.
Nigel, and I understand this, but when you look at Joe Burrow and you look at the things that the scouts and fans like us, like, don't get me wrong, when I say these things, I think Joe Burrow is going to be insanely good in the NFL. But when I'm saying these things, I'm pointing the fact that people often go to the point that Joe Burrow he's very mature. He knows how to lead an offense. He knows his way around a football field. He knows how to read defenses. I sure in hell hope he knows how to read defenses.
Yeah, well, he's 3 years older than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
he's 4, man. Trevor Lawrence is 19.
Well, he just turned 20, didn't he?
Did he? Because he's the same age as us.
No, I'm pretty sure he's 20.
Like, I honestly,
sure
that's hard to say. I'd take Burrow. But honestly,
I think Trevor Lawrence,
you could take either or and you're set.
You boys look.
Trevor Lawrence is going to be a generational talent.
100%. You boys look at the NFL talent right now. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes, one-time MVP, possible Super Bowl champion this time in 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
Right? Excuse me. 24 years old.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson. Top 3 quarterback in the league, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys disagree, but
he has very little offensive line talent.
Yeah, and the fact that he's still doing it.
Anyway, like, they got Laramie Tunzel.
Hey, anyway,
left tackle.
That's 23 years old.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson going to be the MVP of the NFL this year. Headed at a notch.
No, I'm saying I agree. Like the Russell Wilson argument died about week 9.
Yeah.
22 years old. You're throwing Joe Burrow in the league. He's the same age as these guys. You're telling me if you threw Patrick Mahomes into that LSU defense, he's not breaking those records like Burrow did, Nige?
Oh, I'm not saying, but like, even like, age plays a bit of a factor, but in the age of where a quarterback's going to play till 40, I'm not as worried about those 2 years as I would 10 years ago.
Okay, but I'm just saying that the things that that coaches and scouts are thriving on Burrow for, being his arm strength, his IQ, his maturity, and as a leader, are like he's 23 years old.
He's old.
You know what argument I'm going to use for why that's a good thing?
Yeah.
Jameis Winston. Okay,
but Trevor Lawrence is not going to be Jameis Winston.
No, but that's why those are like good tangibles. Jameis Winston came into the league with none of that, but had talent. And everybody said, that'll develop in the NFL. Jameis Winston, on his 5th year, just became the only quarterback in NFL history to go 30 for 30.
With a lot of rough.
Boys, Trevor Lawrence just wins. And I know you're going to say Joe...
No. I'm not disagreeing. Yeah. That was his first loss in, 20-something games?
It's his first loss since his junior year of high school.
Like, that's ridiculous.
That is
I'm not
actually
honestly,
ridiculous.
I'm not disagreeing with the fact that you're taking Trevor Lawrence. I think either way you are set. I'm just saying for the type of I'm not disagreeing with the running quarterback because I love a guy who sits in the pocket and slams.
I understand
Is Trevor Lawrence due for regression though?
I don't. I just don't. If it doesn't happen,
are his numbers inflated?
If it doesn't happen
as a 20-year-old,
if it doesn't happen this year, if his regression doesn't happen this year, it won't happen.
Yeah.
Like this is the year. This is the make or break year when fellows go from their sophomore to their junior season. That's when you know.
Only thing: will Joe Burrow break the Heisman curse?
When Jalen Hurts was going and becoming a junior in college, everyone thought that he was next up. Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
Jalen Hurts is lucky to be.
I
think he's gonna be all right, but Jalen Hurts is gonna be lucky. Do you think he's gonna be first?
Chargers need a quarterback. It's simple. Chargers take him at
Chargers need a quarterback. That
Chargers
guy's
take him
name
at
is Tom
6.
Brady.
Old Man Rivers has moved to Florida.
Yeah, but that guy's name is Tom Brady.
permanently.
I don't know. I think Brady's going
It's hard
somewhere
to say
sunny.
where Brady's going.
I don't think he's with New England
I
anymore.
don't think he's
Bill
going to
Belichick's
Vegas.
wanted him
I
gone
don't
since
think he's going to
2016.
Vegas.
I don't think it's impossible to rule Tom Brady out of the division. I think there's some enthrall in signing with the Miami Dolphins.
You know what? The Miami's going to draft Tua, let him develop behind Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, they're 100% going to
Ryan
draft Tua.
Fitzpatrick, the best journey. That man has stole more money from.
Do you want Tua to grow behind Ryan Fitzpatrick or Tom Brady though?
At their current level of play.
Yeah, I gotta
Fitzpatrick.
go with you, Greg. That's Ryan Fitzpatrick or Tom Brady.
It's Fitzmagic. He's a gunslinger. That's not what you want to teach Tua.
I know.
A guy who would go out and sling.
But I don't know if Tua needs to sit.
Yes, he
Yes, he
100%
does.
needs to sit. Now she just sat out a whole year.
No.
Yes.
But I mean, like, development. Like,
No, development-wise, maybe not. But the fact that he
Injury-wise,
hasn't played
yeah.
football in over a year,
I think
you cannot throw him
if the
out
Chargers
in the NFL
do
field.
not take a quarterback, they are beyond incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yes,
we
but I
watched
think
what
that
happened.
quarterback's going to be Justin Herbert.
I think it's either Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert. I don't think I'm hoping. Here's what I hope.
Jake Fromm could be so.
You know what I want to happen?
could
Jake.
be,
No,
he
you know
could
what?
be.
This is what I want. I want Jake Fromm to fall into the second round, and for me to hear.
I think he will.
With their second round pick, the Green Bay Packers select Jake Fromm. And he sits behind Rodgers for 3 years, and we can go 3 years straight with a possible Hall of Fame
as a
quarterback.
Bears fan, I asked you guys yesterday, what the hell are the Bears going to do with the 45th and the 50th pick?
Jake Fromm.
They're not going to get any of those names. I can tell you that. I can
You know
tell
what
right
you are
now.
gonna get,
You don't
though?
think they have no chance?
You know what
getting Jake Fromm?
you know what you can get, and the Packers proved it this year with Elton Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a solid offensive lineman in the second and third round.
Well,
and
that's
you know
what-
what you could.
That's what I feel. That's
and
what I feel we
with
need.
how polluted this wide receiver class is.
Yep, you're
you
right.
can get a stud.
That's actually
with the
a
40
good
something.
point. I've told you before, Nige, like you rag on Trubisky all the time, and it's warranted.
It's valid,
you
but
need to. But when you have a shitty O line like we do, half of the reason that he's like so bad, I believe, he just has no O line. It collapses every single time he goes
the
to make a
regression
pass.
of Jared Goff this
So
year.
then you give the ball to David Montgomery every single play because you're just not confident in your own abilities because your O-line's just going to collapse every time you go to make a throw.
That first Packers game, when they asked Trubisky to throw the ball, what was it, 40 something times? That's
Yeah.
but that's not what Mitch Trubisky is.
No, he's
like,
not.
I'm not going to say Mitch Trubisky can't be a good quarterback. Mitch Trubisky's your throw 20 times a game max quarterback.
Mitch Trubisky, I feel, has been ruined by our system. We
I
had
wish
Jay Cutler.
I wish Mitch Trubisky waited a year before he declared.
Yes.
13
I would agree with
starts
that.
with a declaration of the draft when you personally admit you couldn't read an NFL defense is a problem.
And I told you this, and you kind of had a counter argument to it, which is fair, but you can't lay all the blame on Mitch Trubisky.
No.
Like, he did declare earlier than he should have, but you can't blame all of it on Mitch Trubisky because
that's right.
it's the Bears that took him that early. They didn't take Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
They didn't make the smart decision
Deshaun Watson.
and take what was known. They took an off the map pick that they were gambling on, and they're paying for it. I'm paying for it.
It could have
All the
paid
Bears.
off, though.
It
Do you know
could have.
what I
Yeah, I'm looking
It
at that
could
now.
have.
I'm looking at that now.
But
You look
he
at
had
like,
nobody to fall
like-
in behind.
Yeah.
That's like
Jay
if-
Cutler, like Chase Daniels. Like what are we doing here?
like all those picks that we crap all over are also some of the same picks we celebrate when they go well.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Like, if the
well,
Niners-
it's a Tom Brady situation.
Well, if you look,
Tom Brady.
well,
wasn't
look at the
a first-round
Niners when they
pick.
took Alex Smith in 05.
199.
Yeah,
If
199.
Alex Smith had have become what he was, if Alex Smith had continued what he was in college, we wouldn't be saying, "Wow, you should have drafted Aaron Rodgers."
Yeah.
Even though looking at like their college resumes, I still think Aaron Rodgers was the clear-cut number one pick.
Yeah.
I'm as a Packers fan, I love it. I absolutely
I
love
was
it.
gonna say, shut up, stop complaining.
But like that's a situation where if Alex Smith
Trevor Siemian for me.
if Alex Smith had gone off, and yeah, he had a good career in Kansas City, but Andy Reid also makes every quarterback good.
Yeah.
Andy Reid revived him. Like
does.
out of prison,
Yeah.
Michael Vick became a stud again.
Yeah.
Under Andy Reid. Can we look at? God damn it, Alex Smith. Alex Smith has not looked good anything under Andy Reid, and that's like this Patrick Mahomes debate. But would Patrick Mahomes be as good without Andy Reid? Andy Reid is the best, or Andy Reid is the quarterback whisperer and the best head coach in NFL history to never win a Super Bowl.
He's
And
still
I
top
hope that
5
changes
QB.
this year. I hope that we can now say he's like the third
I'm not
best.
sure who I want to win the Super Bowl more, though.
If Andy
I'm
Reid,
going to go Kansas City, man.
I'd like to say Kansas City, but to see where the 49ers were last year.
but
Like,
Kyle
they're-
honestly,
Shanahan is the best coach in the NFL.
But I seen the statistic today. They're like one of 3 teams to come back from a 4 or less
honestly,
win
the
season
fact
to make
that-
the Super Bowl.
the fact
That's
that people
crazy.
didn't see
That's
this
crazy.
coming is what made like that was a talented roster, and I knew the minute they got Nick Bosa. Oh my God!
but they
like
were-
Emmanuel Sanders was like, I guess I wouldn't call him necessary because Debo Samuel has developed.
Yeah.
Really
I would
well
say he's
over the season.
necessary. I think he's the reason that Debo Samuel is
All
playing
of
so
the
well.
analysts this season, before it started,
Adam
were
ranked
saying,
3-13.
Yeah, 3-13. Similar numbers to that. That is crazy. And the fact that they beat the odds, they come out. Jimmy G does wonders. Granted, he has a
6 for
great
8.
team behind him too, with all the pieces that you mentioned.
Oh my gosh! Can we
I
talk
just
about that
like
front?
Kansas City is like the dream.
Can we talk about how the
winner,
Niners
but then
were, I
you
think,
have
like
the 49ers.
top 3 in sacks and blitzed the least, I think, in the NFL? Imagine D Ford, Nick Bosa,
Yeah.
Eric Armstead, and DeForest Buckner. Like that 4 can beat 5 O-linemen one-on-one. Not a problem.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, for the Ravens to get as much pressure as they did, they blitzed the most in the league. Speaking of the Ravens, I actually love that they got kicked out by the Titans because I'm saying this right now. I will hold this prediction. I will take the L. The Tennessee Titans will win the AFC South next year. Not the Texans, not the Colts, the Tennessee Titans.
The Baltimore Ravens aren't in the AFC South.
No, but I'm saying, like, when they beat the Ravens, that's what made my... Because you know what they do?
Oh.
If they're smart...
yeah.
If they're smart, they pay Derrick Henry. I know you're not... I hate the not paying running back thing. You pay Derrick Henry on a 3-year deal.
Houston, though?
What's Houston? You take out Deshaun Watson and they're done.
Yeah, but they have Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson.
but let's look
that's
at-
okay, the Chiefs wouldn't be good without Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but I think the Chiefs still would because of those weapons. But let's put out the fact...
No.
They wouldn't.
No. But, like, okay, let's look at it this way. Yes, they have Deshaun Watson, but Kansas City... But, okay, let's look at the fact here. If you franchise tag Ryan Tannehill,
Right.
give Derrick Henry a 3-year deal,
Yes.
draft an outside linebacker with your...
They have nothing there.
Because that's their... You have Jarrell Casey. You have one of the most underrated secondaries in the league. Logan Ryan,
Ryan's a stud.
Kenny Vaccaro. Like, that's an underrated
Yeah, just
secondary.
throw back to like 4 years ago when Kenny Vaccaro was like known as the best safety in football.
I don't even think he's been in the league that long.
Yes, he has.
But, like-
he played for the Saints.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
he did play
still
for the
like
Saints.
that's still like a lockdown secondary. Derrick Henry, best running back in the league. You can make the argument for Christian McCaffrey, and I'm not going to say Derrick Henry is a man with playing with children.
Yes.
Like,
he is a bulldozer.
Shout out to Chris Jones who shut him down though.
Yeah, but Chris Jones.
That was a
no,
project.
can I
That
put
was
out the fact that
hard to
Chris
do.
Jones is the most underrated defensive tackle in the league?
150%.
Yes.
It's not even
Chris
debatable.
Jones and Kenny Clark are two of the most, like, nobody gives Kenny Clark or Chris Jones respect, and they both manhandle the middle
They
of the
still
field.
paid Kenny Clark a little too much.
I don't know. We haven't. Kenny Clark's a free agent this year. We haven't paid him.
They haven't paid him?
No, but Kenny Clark's gonna get a nice contract.
He's
and I'm
gonna
okay
get
with
paid.
it.
Do you think he's gonna stay there? Do you think they're
In
gonna
Green
give him the
Bay,
money?
100%.
Yeah.
There's no way he's not. Man, like, Kenny Clark
He'd
loves it
have
in
no reason
Wisconsin.
to go.
Yeah,
It's like
you're right,
Zadarius
yeah.
Smith.
No reason to
Zadarius
move.
Smith has come out quoted saying he now wants to retire a Green Bay Packer.
Yeah.
Also, Baltimore needed to blitz to get to the passer. Imagine if they had kept the guy who's like now in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. Imagine if you keep Zadarius Smith, the guy who had the most quarterback pressures, quarterback hits, and had the highest double team rate in the entire National Football League.
Yep. So, one sport that I wanted to hit on a little more. Basketball.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Do you think the Lakers paid too much for Anthony Davis?
No. No, because they're going to be NBA champions at the end of the year. It's
I
Well, you
disagree.
keep going back to the fact that he wants to enter free agency.
I guess it can get him paid more.
It can
But
get him
what
paid
if he
more.
leaves?
That's why he.
I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that Anthony Davis is going back. To
But
the
you look at the
Lakers.
fact, but like
Like, if you were Anthony Davis, what would you do?
But what happens
Would you
to-
not go back to LeBron?
Picture this perfect life. You're still getting a max.
Yeah.
You're
No.
teaming with LeBron for what could be a 4 to 5 year championship run. And when LeBron retires, you're still going to be in your prime, and then you can lead the Los Angeles
you were
Lakers.
just in New Orleans, and you come
But-
to LA. Are you really going to give that up?
But
and
who's he?
leave?
No.
No.
But who's he? But
No.
when LeBron retires, who's he going to lead on the Lakers? They gave away their future and 2 first rounders.
Bronny James Jr.
Bronny did.
Do you think? But how are they going to get him?
Bronny.
They don't have a high round draft pick to get him.
He's only he's projected to maybe not even get drafted.
Like, you look at the New Orleans Pelicans, if they handle their stuff right, will be a dominant team.
Yeah, that literally winds into this thing that
Lonzo's,
I want to talk about.
Lonzo's going nuts.
Lonzo's going nuts. Lonzo, you know
Zion's
what?
coming
F
back.
everyone who says that Lonzo's a goddamn bust. I hate you. Kendrick Perkins, suck it. Like,
Lonzo's doing
You
great.
gave Lonzo the leadership. Lonzo, I'm going to make a comparison to the Devils. Lonzo's reminding me a lot of Nico Hischier. When we got rid of Taylor Hall and gave Nico Hischier a leadership role, his play went from middle of the pack to a first overall draft pick. Lonzo Ball is going off right now.
what do you guys think of Zion Williamson possibly returning by the end of the week?
I think
Do it,
that's
please.
great.
How do you think
I
it
want
affects
to
the
watch
Pelicans?
that. I want to watch that man
And
dunk on some
how
kids.
do you think it affects the rest of the NBA? Because the Pelicans are 4 points out of a playoff
They're
spot right now.
yeah, they're scary.
if
they're silent. They're silent.
Zion
They're
plays
silent,
like he did
deadly.
at Duke,
when you
that's
add
filthy.
Zion
No, he's
Williams
not-
to the
not,
mix,
not right away.
no, but if he becomes that player and you use these draft picks right, and Lonzo Ball keeps this up, the Pelicans are going to be a dominant force.
If Zion could come back and average a 20 plus score line a game,
you're gonna win.
You're gonna-
Honestly,
win
no.
the
You're
handful of
finishing,
games
like-
that
I think
you're
even
gonna
if he average,
be not just in the playoffs, but you're looking at.
I think
better
even
than
if he
just
gets you
scraping
15,
by.
I think
Rookie-
even
rook-
if he gets you 15, he's fine.
rookie Zion versus LeBron in a playoff series, fire.
Also,
me
can we talk
up.
about how
I'm down
Giannis?
for that.
Do you think Giannis is going to stay with the Bucks? I can't see him leaving.
Yeah, I
Come
think
to
he'll
New
stay.
York, Giannis. We
He'll
have.
never go to New York.
We have. We have.
Like, people are like, man, what's he got in
fine
Milwaukee?
things,
Like,
fine people.
Giannis is the Bucks had a 2-game.
I don't think he's staying in Milwaukee. There's no
I do.
chance he stays in Milwaukee.
I do.
Really?
No.
You were just in a conference. You were just in a conference championship, and you lost to Kawhi. Kawhi's gone now.
You know what though? And this is not just me being a homer. I genuinely think the Raptors have a solid swing on getting Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That
And
would be
here's
dirty.
If the Raptors can keep Masai Ujiri until 2021,
Yeah.
and they drop Kyle Lowry.
I think it's
and
As
Serge
sad as it
Ibaka.
is.
No, it's
as sad as it is. It's what's going to have to
Yeah.
happen.
Kyle Lowry's getting up there.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot
Yeah.
like the Kawhi Leonard PG thing, where Kawhi Leonard told the Clippers, "Give me Paul George, I'll come." If you can
Antetokounmpo
keep,
and Siakam, that
if you
length,
could
that
keep,
speed.
oh my god, that'd be disgusting.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be crazy.
Also, speaking of
champ
basketball,
easily.
can we talk about the fact that the Houston Rockets will never win anything because you cannot win the basketball?
Fire up the bandwagon. Fire.
Listen, fire up the bandwagon is right.
Hey,
All aboard.
hey, two ball dominant guys in Westbrook and Harden.
But that's working
cannot-
out. Those two are working really well together. Everybody said
Nige,
that'd be a train
then
wreck.
why? No, it's not.
No,
Like,
you know what? No. It's not that. It's the fact that you have to score 130 points a game to win.
If
Yeah.
you wanna play that way to get the 4th and 5th seed in the West every year and lose in the conference semifinals every
Yeah.
year, be my goddamn.
What they need
guest.
to do-
Maybe you should have
Be
reached
my
out to the
guest.
Knicks and gotten the unicorn. Maybe you should have
What
got
they
Chris
need to
Stapps.
do is realize
Because
that
all Chris Stapps does is
Okay,
shoot threes and
'cause-
block.
no,
That's all he does.
I'm going to tell you right now, the only defense that the Rockets have is Clint Capella. You know what they need to do? Realize PJ Tucker is older than dirt. Give him to some team that thinks he's the missing piece to their run.
You need a mobile big man.
That's exactly it.
You need a mobile big man.
Because Harden, I think Harden will finish as a top 5 shooting guard of all time.
He arguably could already be there.
Yeah.
Oh, but I think like he'll finish easily. Like I know he gets a lot of hate because, okay, but all good players get a lot of hate. LeBron gets hate.
But it's not.
I'm
it's
so
not,
sorry.
It's not professionally driven hate though. It's literally people that watch basketball and don't
It's-
like.
it's what we call-
by the end of his career, he's
He's a
going to
good
be better
player.
than
He's a
Dwayne
great
Wade.
player.
It's what we all call armchair GMs. It's the people who sit on their
Yes.
ass and say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I could run this team better than the guy
Yes.
who's paid to do it."
You think shooting guards? You think Michael Jordan? You think Kobe Bryant?
D Wade.
You think
Okay, you can't say that with D-Wade. D-Wade was filthy.
No, D-Wade was absolutely filthy. I'm saying that Harden's probably going to be better than D-Wade.
I think I agree.
Allen Iverson is a shooting guard. He's not a point guard.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson, and then you're looking at guys, but then that's all said and done. But then you got severely underrated guys like Ray Allen is so underrated. He's not top 5 material, but the shooting guard position goes one of two ways. You're either an explosive slasher who can grind on the defensive end, or you're a spot up 3 shooter who can be a little explosive. People seem to forget how Ray Allen was a absolute slasher when he played for the Supersonics. He just was in the Bucks. But
R.I.P. Supersonics.
Yeah, really. And, but it's just one of these things where I don't see. I think Harden will be a top 3 shooting guard.
Also, do you think the Supersonics will be back?
No.
No. I could
really.
Okay, speaking when you talk to Jordan,
they are building a new. Well, I guess they're not building.
Do you think it's an expansion, or do you think someone's moves?
Well,
who's going to move?
Exactly. That's my point.
I think
Hawks. The Hawks are going to move.
Moving?
The Hawks are going to move. Are you serious?
The city of Atlanta.
That team is junk.
Yeah, but so is Washington.
I don't think anything moves out of Washington, man.
No, but here's the problem with Atlanta.
That's like the
Falcons are seeing
the
unless you are
of the US.
Unless you are a good team,
they
Atlanta, Georgia will not support you. Let's look at the fact that the
Atlanta Flames, the Atlanta Thrashers, the Atlanta Hawks,
even the Atlanta
team.
Falcons are losing like drastic numbers because they're not winning.
Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I hate that too. But anyways, side point. You talked about Michael Jordan, and I wanted to bring this up about how the fact that former players have this history of becoming horrendous general managers.
Gretzky.
Can we talk about like anything?
Phoenix.
Mike Vrabel is like the biggest exception in the world to awful owners and GMs and coaches coming out of players. Jordan did horrible things in Charlotte to the fact where he got didn't he get fired?
No, he's
outside of Drew Lock. John Elway, I don't know, he's at Bronco, has been a rough GM.
No, I would fire Elway tomorrow if I could.
Look at the Miami
Derek
Marlins.
Jeter. I love Jeter. Jeter's one of the main reasons I became a Yankees fan. Jeter's hot trash.
Yeah.
But anyway, like Jeter's not a good GM. Like, let's look at former players that have become coach. Mike Vrabel, besides, is an exception, but Patrick Waugh was an awful coach.
Well, now he's coaching in the Q. He's
Wayne
coaching
Gretzky.
the Quebec Ramparts. Last I heard, he was coaching the Quebec Ramparts.
Gretzky was an awful coach.
Yeah, Phoenix. I get that.
It's a rough transition.
It's the avenue that you want to go down as a player, because you want the fame on both ends. Well, not necessarily wanting the fame.
Okay, there's another exception. That's Mike Ditka. Mike Ditka.
Yeah, Mike Ditka.
Except for at the end of Mike Ditka's career, he made one of the dumbest trades in NFL history, where he traded his entire draft for Ricky Williams.
Yes.
When he was a Saints coach. But like, this is also me being like a fat hypocrite from the guy who wants Martin Brodeur and Scotty Stevens to come coach the Devils.
But that's like, we've talked about this before, Nigel. Like, the fact that you guys aren't doing very well this year, despite having such promising prospects, picks, trades, acquisitions, and free agency over the past few years, you've really kind of got to start digging in former players to see if something can revive this team. I told you before, Scott Niedermayer.
That too.
Scott Niedermayer comes back.
I got very excited when they brought Patrick Elias in to work with Jack Hughes, because Patrick Elias is the Devils' top points leader, goal scorer in history. But Patrick Elias in his prime, it's a shame he wasted his career. Like, I'm not gonna say wasted his career with the Devils, because he won a couple cups.
He did.
Like,
good on him.
But like the tail end of his career, I was really homing for Patrick Elias to go to a team. Like, one Zach Parise and Kovalchuk
but then you seen
screwed
that
off.
go with Martin Brodeur. He goes to the Blues, plays 3 games, and retires.
Trash.
But that was after that. That's because I think Brodeur realized I'm out of my Brodeur was done. Elias, 2012 Elias, after I think 2012
Elias could still put up 30 points.
2013 season after Zach Parise and Ilya Kovalchuk left, I was hoping Elias would get traded, which we should have done. We should have traded Elias. Then you bring him back on that 1-day deal like we did with Brodeur to retire, but you trade him away for prospects. He goes, hopefully wins a cup somewhere. Like, it's a stud. I think it would have been a great move. But like, and I'm very excited that they're bringing Brodeur in to work with our interim GM right now.
Yeah.
Because as much as Ray Shero made like the Adam Larson trade, which I think is one of the like filthiest steals ever, Ray Shero, you saw it in Pittsburgh. Greg probably knows he has a loyalty problem. That's why.
Hell yeah.
That's why
Harry Roberts, old ass. Are you kidding me?
That's why John Hines didn't get fired. It's because Ray Shero had a loyalty problem.
Can I go back to the former players failing as coaches? When former players fail as coaches, it's awful. It's awful. But for the Capitals, as a Capitals fan, and I didn't even really realize it until recently, Olaf Kolzig, our former goaltender, is our goalie coach. And he's done, to my understanding, amazing things with Braden Holtby and now Ilya Samsonov.
Yeah.
When they're not in the
Braden Holtby though a little bit.
they're not in the limelight, but they're producing great things behind the scenes. Well, I think it's almost the pressure of being a former player. You know, Gretzky steps up and tries to become a coach or whatever. You're in the limelight. You have to appeal to the fans that loved you once and still be great at something completely different than what you were used to before.
You know what? I think it's very key to like if we're going to talk about
some of the best coaches were mediocre players in their time.
No, that's exactly the point I was just going to make.
Yeah.
It's a style of player and it's a style of person that makes a good coach. You like Kobe Bryant would be an awful coach in my opinion.
Aaron Boone, manager of the New York Yankees, although he screwed up with relief pitching in the playoffs, I would still credit him with being a great replacement coach.
But Boone's second year, that's inexperience.
Yeah,
like Boone's going to gain that experience eventually.
He knows next year not to do that.
Nothing would make me happier than watching Tim Duncan relieve Greg Popovich when he retires. Because I think Tim Duncan would be
time is over.
It is. I think that Tim Duncan would be a great coach. That's just the type of player he was.
Yeah.
I think guys like Steve Nash would be a great coach. He's worked wonders with Steph Curry.
Oh, I think you're right.
It is the type of person.
I think
you're right. It's completely the type of person.
When I said mentor, I didn't mean, but it's like it's very common that like the great ones fail because they seem to bring this. Like they seem to think that everyone will play to like the same style they did, and it just doesn't.
If LeBron was a coach, his players would hate him.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
He's literally half.
He's already hated, and he's one of the best players to play the game.
Speaking of shitty coaches who used to play, Luke Walton's a tool.
Yeah.
Oh man, he ruined his chance, man. He ruined his chance to be a coach like LeBron and AD. He just ruined it.
You know, we've been running here like an hour and a half. Jake, you want to do this topic, and you know what? Let's make it our last.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on wearing like another team's clothing? Do you think that is treason?
Yes, I did want to talk about this.
Different league or different?
Well,
no. Like, say if you're a Yankees fan and you wear a San Diego Padres hat.
Oh, like
yes.
you're talking like
is it
people.
treason? Is it treason?
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna go out and say yes if it's in division. Like if you're a Yankees fan,
if you're a
Yankees fan and wears Boston, you are not a Yankees fan. Get out.
I would rather shoot myself in my testicles than wear a Boston Red Sox jersey.
Sorry to all the Boston fans listening to this podcast, if there are any people listening to this podcast. but the chances are people listening to this podcast. Yankees fan, Boston fan, Jays fan. There is nothing else in Atlantic Canada.
But I'm going to point out, like...
you are a rarity.
I'm going to use the example of NFL, but Greg's AFC, we're NFC. Me and you both have an AFC team.
Yes.
Mine, the Buffalo Bills. Like, that's the AFC team I root for. I'm not...
I have an NFC
Yeah, you have an NFC. Like, it's not that they're our home team, but you just root for a team in the other conference. Same with the MLB. My NL team, that's straight up the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I was a huge Clayton Kershaw fan early 2000s. I still think, early 20s, I still think Clayton Kershaw is better than people give him credit for. I'm going to straight up say it. The Astros cheating made Clayton Kershaw lose his confidence in the playoffs. It's not actually Clayton Kershaw.
I'm a big Cardinals fan. That's my NFC. Which makes me excited for the future.
Yeah.
I was at one time. I was kind of a Texans fan, but when the Josh Allen draft happened,
having a closet
huge
franchise
to
cheer for is awesome. I love cheering for like a second team.
Yeah, my second favorite football team though. You guys are gonna not like this because the whole conversation was asked on the same division though. It's the Steelers.
You know,
And
the
that's-
only
that's
reason
But I
I
can't knock that.
the only
though.
reason I
that's my
dislike
dad
the Steelers.
brainwashing.
Yeah.
No, the only reason I dislike
My
the
dad's a Raiders
Steelers
fan,
is
but he still loves
because
the Steelers.
Steelers fans claim Terry Bradshaw to be the second coming of Jesus. Where if that man didn't have the steel curtain, he'd be
That
lucky
guy
to
gets
win
hit in
8
the head
games.
one more goddamn time. He's not going to be able to remember his name. Did you see him when Jimmy Johnson got his Hall of Fame thing? But he was like,
Yeah.
yeah. He
Okay.
didn't know where he was.
Okay, like what is it? Also, like before, quick little side topic. Why are like especially NFL announcers some of the worst? Can we stop letting Joe Buck's unemotional ass?
David Tyree.
Hold up, no, no, no.
He's got it.
Home
No.
run.
I don't
Aaron
think.
Judge.
Can I point out the fact that Joe Buck's not paid to announce? He's paid to fucking babysit Troy Aikman's senile ass. Troy Aikman's like literally stupid.
Joe Buck is paid to look pretty.
Like, anyways, back onto the treason thing.
Back under the treason thing.
Yeah,
is
because
right.
like honestly,
I don't think it is treason. I myself own a Cleveland Indians hat because Cleveland
Honestly,
Indians hat
I
looks
don't.
nice.
But there are people who like. If you're a player,
if it is in
if you're a
division,
player, it's treason.
I would not.
If you're a player, you better not
I
get
would
caught
not-
in anything by
I
your
would
own
not get a
team.
Rays hat. I would not get a Sox hat, and I would not get an Orioles
If you
hat.
saw
I
me in
can-
a Bears
I can
lion,
guarantee
if you
that
saw me in a
right
Bears
there.
Lions or
Jays hat?
Vikings hat, it's not me.
I'd get a
I-
Jays hat.
hey,
I
you
get
know
a
what?
Jays hat because I'm a Canadian.
You know what? I owned Jays hats as a kid, but that's because they were
Great
signed by
White
Kelly
North.
Gruber.
Great.
I went to Kelly Gruber ball camps, and that's the only reason I own Jays hats.
Yeah. You know what? Back in the day, I used to have a Philadelphia Phillies hat.
See, but that's not bad. They're
That's
not in
not
the
that
division.
bad.
Because
though.
no, and the reason behind it is because Roy Halladay is my favorite baseball player. of
Yeah,
all
that's
time. Rest in
respectable.
peace, by the
That's
way.
respectable. I
And he
love
went to the Phillies, and
Derek
I bought a hat.
Jeter. My mom. When I started watching baseball, my mom was. I don't even know if you'll know this name, Greg. It was a J. Scutero. My mom loved Scutero.
Man, my mom-
he went to
that
the
name.
Sox.
I remember
My mom,
that name.
That-
my mom,
and there's another name.
Roberto Alomar.
No, there's another.
loves
There was this catcher, and Mom's gonna chastise me for not knowing his name. I called him an Oompa Loompa because he was really short. I can't remember. Mom loved him, and then they dropped him. I called him an
I'm just
Oompa
saying it,
Loompa. He was
nobody-
really short. He was there when Russell Martin was there.
Yeah.
Navarro or something like that.
Oh, Deontay Navarro.
Yes, that was it. That was it.
Absolute
Mom
bomb.
loved him.
Are you joking? Your mom. Donna. Hun. I don't understand. Listen, the guy bat like 212.
Can we also
And
talk about the
It's
fact
not
that
about stats.
Can we talk about the fact
No,
that
no.
you think Scutero was anything amazing? Mom, can we also talk about the fact that Russell Martin went and closed a game this year? Like, what is happening?
Russell Martin was my favorite player on the Jays for like the past, like,
my
5
favorite
years.
Jays player was Double E for so long, and then he became a Yankee, and then he stunk.
Yeah.
And now,
Ed Wing.
okay, can we talk about what the White Sox are doing this year? Like
My favorite
when did
Jays
the
player
Chicago,
is Gio Urshela because he's now a Yankee and he's like hitting bombs.
Yeah, remember
out
when
here.
it was remember when it was
the Jays are a farm team for the Yankees, by the way.
remember when it was a
Hate it.
no, but can we talk
next
about
topic.
Can we talk about the fact that the Chicago White Sox finally figured out that they had to do
They
things to build the
finally
team?
figured it out. They've got Nick Madrigal, Michael Kopech. They've got Tim Anderson. They've got
Tim
Jose
Anderson's good.
Abreu.
Yeah, they
They've
went off.
got
Jose Abreu.
an
I hope to see him do a
arsenal.
little better next
They've got an arsenal. this
Also,
year,
can
and
we
I'm
talk
happy
about the
for
fact that everybody like Mad Bum went to the who did he go to?
them. Arizona. He went to the
Nobody
D-backs.
thought he was going to the D-backs.
Nobody knew it.
I kind of like that though, because the D-backs have been hanging
Will
around.
he go to the Dodgers? Will he go to the East? No, he's not going to the Dodgers. He hates the Dodgers. But Arizona was so off the map, nobody
Can we talk
expected
about also the fact that I think the I'm sorry, Greg just did
it.
something.
Yeah, great.
I don't know what Greg just did, but he just made the funniest face in existence. But can we talk about the fact that the Nats are filthy? Juan Soto, Max Scherzer. I love Max Scherzer. That clip of him
Max,
just
baby.
at the Mount cursing and swearing like you fucking son of a bitch. I loved that. You could just lip her. He's like, you fucking son of a
He
bitch.
fires me up, and I
I'm
like
pretty
the
sure
Nationals.
Max Scherzer was just quoting Alex Jones there.
My favorite thing about the Nationals winning the World Series.
Fuck the Stros.
Because no, not even fuck the Stros.
Oh.
Fuck Bryce Harper.
Yes.
I'm gonna go make
Fuck.
all the
Salt
money
in
to
the
get
wound.
screwed by the Phillies.
Hey, throwback to when all you Yanks fans thought he was good.
I didn't want anything to do
But
with
that
Harper.
was Bryce Harper doing it to himself. He shaved his beard to appeal to Yankee scouts.
Am I the only? I think
This
I'm like
is-
the only
this is
Yankees
the
fan
truth.
that want nothing to do with Harper or Machado.
Bryce Harper is a Yankee fanboy who shaved his beloved beard to appeal
It's
to
gonna
Yankee
be weird
scouts,
seeing
and
Garrett
we
Cole.
He's
dropped
such a
him.
prick
We said
job.
no.
Bryce Harper is such a
Oh,
prick
It's gonna be
job.
so weird
He
seeing
is.
Garrett Cole with
That's why
short
Mike
hair and no
Trout
beard.
over Bryce Bryce Harper 10 days at a
yes.
time.
You know what? I feel bad for Mike Trout.
Mike
That man
Trout,
put
because he
himself
has
in
the
a
stats.
yeah, but Mike Trout also put himself in a 10-year no trade clause with the Angels. Rest in peace to Mike Trout.
No, but
Hey,
they're
making
not going to
that
be that
bank,
bad
though.
this year. They're not going to be
Okay,
that
Chip,
bad
that's
this
another
year.
thing.
They've got
Everybody-
Shohei Ohtani hitting and pitching.
Baseball players make a lot of money, but their contracts are also like 14 years.
Yeah.
The last guy to get a 14-year contract was Ilya Kovalchuk, and he said, "I'm going to the CHL. I'm going to the KHL and
Man,
blowing my prime."
When you sign a 10-year deal in the
Anything but
MLB, in the MLB, you're signing for 1,620 games.
Yeah.
But the difference with the MLB
That's
too
a
is like
long
the MLB has
time.
like the lowest risk of injury because there's like basketball, football, hockey. That's all like basketball is still physical.
I've said this forever. I've said if there was one pro sport that I could be a pro athlete in and be the best player in the world, it would be baseball.
You really think that?
There are a lot of
Nigel, you're making like $45 million a year to play for 25 years.
First of all, hockey, you wouldn't choose hockey because every other major sport league is
You wouldn't
they're
choose.
getting paid more.
Well, you
They're
also
getting paid like $10
wouldn't
million
choose football
more.
because the average football career is 4 years, so you're not even making
No.
it out of your rookie contract
No.
unless you're a legend.
Here's the thing with basketball. I guess if you're the best player in the world, it's all cool. Like LeBron's making
Okay,
insane
also-
money, but if you're, you're making a shit ton of money or you're making nothing.
Soccer players make bank, but soccer's also like super hard in conditioning, and I can't run. I know I said that this. I think we're actually going to hit to our last segment here, and that's one thing. And you know what our last segment would be?
What?
I think what our biggest moment of the upcoming week is in sports. My biggest moment? Zion coming back.
Yes.
Let's see, is he going to be a stud? That's my big
Yeah.
moment for the week. Because right now we don't have a consistent schedule. We're hoping to keep this podcast going weekly. That is the plan. Because I think we're all set to record next week. I'm game for that.
Yeah, I'm done.
But my 100% goal right now, well, my prediction, my hope for the week is to watch Zion dunk on some fools on a Thursday game for the New Orleans Pelicans. That's what I think my biggest, moment of the week's going to be.
I'm looking forward to MLB Hall of Fame announcements.
See, Hall of Fame announcements piss me off every year because you go to the NFL and I get that you want to get the relevant players in, but how about you let these guys get their Hall of Fame busts before they die?
Yeah.
Quick little side note, half these guys are going to be dead before they get Steve Atwater's not in the Hall of Fame. What is wrong with you people? Get Stevie Atwater in there. That dude led the Orange Crush defense dirty. Get Stevie Atwater in the Hall of Fame. Anyways,
Hey,
back onto your
what's
moments of the
happened
week.
after we were on this podcast? Felix Hernandez signed with the Atlanta
I
Braves.
did see that.
Oh, breaking news! Breaking news!
It's
breaking news!
was 1 million. Why not? It's 1 million.
Yeah, no, take the chance on him.
Yeah,
he
why
was a
the hell
stud. He was a stud back in the day. I think my
Moment of the week.
my moment of the week is also the Knicks just recalled Ignas Brazdeikis from the D League. But anyway,
It's happening.
yeah,
Slowly but surely.
my moment of the week, man. You got to give props to Zion. You got to get all that stuff out of the way. But just
It's the Pro Bowl. Greg loves the Pro Bowl.
the Pro Bowl can go to hell and die.
Greg wants to watch Pro Bowl. Okay, let's be honest. The only part of the Pro Bowl I watch is dodgeball. I think it's hilarious to watch grown men throw dodgeballs at each other.
What's your moment of the week?
Moment of the week. I feel like I'm copying Nige, but at the same time, Zion's a generational talent.
Oh, that kid's something else.
I am way too excited to see the combination of Lonzo
Can we-
and
You're
Zion.
way too excited to see the Pelicans actually do something.
Yeah.
Can we
And-
hold up? Can we figure out the
Potentially.
lab where these kids are being built? Because I'm gonna build my kid there.
Brandon Ingram is averaging over 25 points a game this year.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
disgusting. Everybody, Lonzo's a bust after 1 year. Now he's out there throwing just being a stud in New Orleans.
Yeah.
New Orleans, the Saints used to be the only relevant thing besides LSU and New Orleans, and now the Pelicans are becoming.
Alas, we
Yeah.
can't go too long.
We've got. If you're still listening, to
Depending
this-
on when you're listening to this, it could have been released Wednesday. It could have been released Friday. We're not sure right now. It's the first episode.
depends on what iTunes does to
We're
us.
still figuring things out, but hopefully a second episode will be a bit more orderly.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the word.
I don't
Not
know.
orderly.
Okay, let's be real. With how scatterbrained we all are, that's not happening.
Well, how
We're just gonna
scatterbrained you are.
Yeah,
Speak
that's-
for yourself. buddy.
Yeah, I'm saying it right now. But I think I can say from all of us here, for those of you who are listening to this first episode, we want to thank you all for tuning in for
Yes.
the
Thank you.
hour and 52 minutes that
Also-
we've talked right now.
I-
before-
Nolan Arenado responded to comments saying he is no longer on the trade market. Arenado is not moving from Colorado.
Damn.
Shit.
But also, okay, but like we should probably clear this up because nobody. So from the three of us, we want to say thank you. We hope you continue to listening. We hope you share this with your friends. You know, any bit of like support early on is helpful.
Follow us on at BRBL Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
As well as because this is going to be if you don't have.
You could also be listening on YouTube.
If you're listening on YouTube, it's probably still the same. As well as social media is a great way to keep up with our upload schedule until we get consistent because we're probably going to leave notifications on there.
Yeah.
Jake handles all our social media because that man is the Jesus of Photoshop. So, you know, keeping up at BRBL Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is the best way to keep up with us.
Yep.
I'm going to speak for the three of us here. Again, I'm going to say thank you guys for watching, and we hope that you continue.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
See you then.